towards the base of Hype Unit here. 43% on that. Chopper finds the first kill onto T-Mac. Now you're doing it without healing. Still in behind Hype Unit though, and they're not able to find the kill. Viral adds one more. Not using the through time and space. You're still gonna have that one. The Bomb King running wild. And down goes Tay, and up goes Renegades.
That's the second time that they've had Khan into Bomb King on the side of the minor league team in Hype Unit.
Yeah.
And they need to stop doing that. Granted, it's a little too late to say that, but you go back, Moon Chopper actually is the one who we have doing the video for it, the Play Like a Pro with Khan, is mentioning Bomb King's bad for you. He's good at dealing with your shields because he doesn't have to go through them. He can go around them. He'll just shoot a little higher. Instead, it's caused some trouble, but 6-3-0 here for Tay. Really the only saving grace right now for Hype Unit. And that has to turn around. Again, I'm going to harp on him all day until it changes, but Pan is not having the performance you need in an elimination game. And because of that, they are starting to shake, falter, and potentially lose. They're already down 2-0 here. They need something more out of this Drogoz.
This is the chance for the Renegades to put themselves within one, but a chance for Hype Unit to get themselves back in this set. Dragon Punch searching. Dragon Punch times out. He does find a flank in behind Viral, though, who's not able to get away. Payne finds the final shots there, but a big spike trades immediately out. Oh, and the counter saves his life. Somehow Invocal stays alive, and in the meantime, the Bomb King teeing off on everyone else. Hero finds the last shot, and the Renegades, one more fight for them.
I mean, 24% to 19. It feels like a point-ending fight there. I mean, so much goes right, depending on who you ask. So much goes wrong on the other side. Renegades played that perfectly. Good cooldown rotation, good ability usage right in the nick of time. Specifically that counter to keep Invocal in it. Shadow coming in to save his day. Dethroner's going to use his ult, but he's off the objective right now.
He's controlling a lot of that space, and Shadow's the first to drop, so if nothing else, that's a good trade for them. But Moon Chopper dashes on in, Paying one more time, getting chipped away. Enough healing coming out from Hype Unit is going to keep him alive, but not for much longer. Moon Chopper's the only kill that gets traded out. The whirl back through from Invocal, who is also down to 3 digits of health. Is there enough damage to get him? Everyone looking at the Throner. They're not able to get the kill, but Edgem with the flank wraps around the backside. Double kill from the Leon, and he's looking for a little more.
Couple of shots here on the side. Shadow stays alive, but it doesn't matter. The touch is a little too late from Moon Chopper. So Hype Unit stay afloat this time around. Payan's starting to show up and do a little more. But really, again, Tay feels like the one driving this force home.
That's the King Bomb. Going to connect onto Tay. Immediately exploded is that Khan. Invokal's going to get the second kill here. The Renegades buy themselves enough space here on Jaguar Falls. It becomes so much more difficult to grab the push. There's a Dragon Punch that was reset to 30% because of the miss from Payan, but Lightman as well. They have the brute force they may need to fight back through it, and Invocal is going to toss out the through time and space. No connection there. But a third point here on Jaguar Falls is massive, I think, for the Renegades.
I mean, if they can just hold this for as long as they can, like you said, get up 3-1.
Nice.
They're happy. Invocal, he's not having a great game on Zen. I'm not sold on him. I'm not thinking, man, let's everybody go start picking Zen now. But maybe I'll not be as upset about it, I guess, in the future from them. They just,
I won't question it as much.
Really this awkward middle ground where it's not doing anything crazy, and there's other champions that I think could fill the same role a little better, but there's also some things Invocal's doing that can only be done with Zen right now.
Yep.
And those are the ones that have been the most impactful, the most pivotal for Renegades. And this is why this is called a suicide defense, honestly. You're so far ahead, eventually something's going to break. The dam has a crack in it. And finally, the water comes flooding through.
But the respawn's right back there, and you're not worried about it if you're the Renegades. You delayed about 2 minutes off of that timer before a real engagement will happen. It doesn't take that much longer to get a push, though. Especially with Edgem. Edgem is, I think, had a great game on this Leon, keeping his team in it. Poppy Bomb up into the King Bomb. Oh, just slides back, and it ends up finding a few stuns anyway, but not quite as over the top as you wanted. You might be thankful for that, as he's able to stay alive here. Payne with the kill onto Shadow, finds the Bomb King. Edgem as well, picks away a little bit of damage at Viral. Payne knows Invocal's somewhere back behind him. It's looking like 3 kills as Tay adds 1 more.
And that is one of the hardest jumps to make, by the way, with your Poppy Bomb, to be able to kind of fling that one over. It has been impressive from them. is going to be really solid here. Renegades right now doing anything and everything they can to keep this one rolling.
For everyone jumping right back in, quick power outage on our side. The Renegades have been able to grab a couple more points here, but Hype Unit knocking on the door of their second point throughout this one. Edgem sliding on through. Double kill now for the Leon. Make it 3 for the Leon. And Edgem keeps his team alive. And what a time to join back in on the stream with Hype Unit tying up this game.
Keeping it 2-2, keeping it safe, and keeping it even right now. Payan, again, stepping up to the plate, starting to match things that he's been needing to match for 2 games now. More importantly, and most importantly, is probably the Zen and vocal right there. Has been impactful, to say the least. Again, not anything that makes me think I'm going Zen over Cassie or I'm going Zen over Leon every game, but just enough to sell Zen on this map. A lot of the scenarios he's getting out of or accomplishing, these double kills, it's something only Zen could do in that moment. And he's been able to stay alive. This time around, though, he has only been half the story, 12-6. Again, it's 2.0 there, but technically sloppy for Invocal. Edgem on an 11 streak right now. He's the one who's definitely been able to kind of flip his performance switch on.
Starting to bring it, and that's scary for the Renegades. Overpower, connects onto Moonchopper, likely resulting in a kill. Haven't seen it pop up yet, but there it is. Spite no good. Or it is, but doesn't result in the kill. So Hype Unit one more time, grab a few kills for themselves, make it 4. 5 soon to follow. So now the zone is on, and this game has been flipped on its head from what we saw at the start.
I mean, it is perfectly in character based on a lot of their minor league sets against Sanguine specifically for Hype Unit to push sets to 5 and win them at the end of it. But right now, they need a little bit more coming forward. They get rid of Shadow, but they lose Edgem in the process. They have a 21 streak here for their IO. They're 90% up. They're controlling this objective well.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know if anyone from the Renegades is in range to get a touch, and even if you are, you only have a couple of members left alive. So what a turnaround here from Hype Unit. You go down 2, you're able to fight back and tie it up at 2. Now you're knocking on the door of getting right back in this set. Immortal now from Payan. And the turnaround he's had, Immortal at 14, 8, and 8. That should show you kind of where the flip has been. A rough start, but most of those kills and assists coming at 8 deaths.
And I think this is exactly what they need, right? Edgem getting comfortable, 11 and 4. Payan getting comfortable, 14 and 8. Even if you die in this round, don't take it to heart. Keep that level of comfort and keep confidence in yourself. I mean, these guys have played so hard to get to this point. And if Payan can keep it going, much with either Dragon Punch or like this, a repositioning to get into a good shot, that's what you need from this team.
This could be it. The Renegades getting chipped down, and that might be all she wrote. Payload rolling forward. Hype Unit keep themselves alive one more time in this set. All they need is the zone. Trying to come back out from your base. T-Mac just zoning out. Payload rolls in. Hype Unit stay alive. And Hype Unit grab their first win.
That was just a beautiful turnaround. From beginning to end, from Ice Mines to this, that was what this team needed to stabilize more than anything. Still going to be game point for Renegades. It's still going to be one from them to get to quarterfinals. But Payan going big here and admittedly doing the one thing. Renegades, while they take a lot of losses, they still don't seem to handle them too well. You start dishing them out, maybe start trying to figure out how to control that, get a little bit of a better draft, and you can absolutely still win 2 more. Only downside is that now Renegades have the map pick. Granted, I will also argue they don't have anywhere near as many maps left that I think that's a Renegades map, and that might be the best news Hype Unit could get all day.
And this is where Renegades, they need to buckle down. You had a 2-0 lead on that map. Hype Unit were able to win 4 points straight to take it over you. You're up 2-1, plenty of room to play with. This is gut check time for the Renegades. Still 1 win away. Let's see if they can round it out in just a sec.
back, guys. Okay, Hype Unit, it's good to see that you guys still got some. It's good to see that you guys still got some life left in you. That much is for sure, especially with taking their first win against RNG. Once again, sorry for that, guys. Really, really apologize for the streams going down. No matter where it is you're watching from, that affected all of our games. Both Smite and Paladins were down, but luckily you guys were able to tune in and see that Hype Unit were able to take their first game. That's really, really awesome. And once again, Beast, I don't know what Hype Unit have to do, what they were able to find this time around, man, but they need to be able to take that, harness it, and keep moving forward.
I think in that one, they definitely had draft advantage. As I said, when they dropped in there, with the Drogos, that didn't really have anything to shut the Drogos down. As the game progresses, the Drogos gets those Wreckers online. As I said as well, really easy direct shots onto Ruckus, and he did actually go for Fusillade as well. So Fusillade damage plus a Wrecker onto direct shots on Ruckus really shuts that character down as the game progresses through. And as we see towards the end, the Drogos had such a phenomenally high streak in this game, and no one really was there to just shut him down and take away that damage.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing, though, is that, I mean, you look at Tay, I mean, once again, I mean, he's on a 21 streak, just literally just one more than Payne right there. T-Mac on his 28, but still, once again, Payne, these guys, Hype Unit, they are the writers of this story right now. 3-8-18 for Dethroner, 11-4-19 for Edgem. T-Mac is 3-3-31, 14-8-11, 12-7-17. I mean, the slash lives are looking good for them, but the slash lives aren't looking too bad for the Renegades either. But once again, you mentioned it before, Payne running this Fusillade, throwing out these rockets, making sure these direct hits are hurting, and they are hurting very, very prominently right there, man. I mean, it is so, so important. Yeah, no, don't worry. No. We're gonna glaze right past the fact, you know, that Moonchopper may have run in and just in the very, very beginning and may have just entered just a little bit, but that's, you know, that's neither here nor there, Beast. That's understandable.
Just how fast he just gets obliterated by these shots from Ruckus. Like, that is a tank. That we're looking at right now. And with those direct shots from Fusillade Ruckus, it's just really... What is Streak doing? Oh, this is a little bit earlier in the match.
Yeah, A Streak.
His Streak gets far higher than this the later the game goes on. So there's definitely nobody to shut him down. As I said, the Xin can only hit him every third shot. So it's very hard for them to stop a Drogos doing pretty much whatever he wants to do. And we see it as these clips continue. It was very good performance.
Yeah, I mean, it was an extremely good performance from him, and hopefully they can keep this performance going or at least try and maneuver around what maybe had them in that slump these first two games, because we're entering into a realm of possibilities now. What looked like Renegades win at first overall, a 3-0. Now we're looking at a situation where, okay, it's 2-1. Can Hype Unit make this sweep back? What will they be able to do? What can they bring out? And you mentioned the draft. What do you think they might have to do for this next draft that's coming in? Are there certain characters you might want to try to get rid of? Like, you feel like it's the BK? Like, what do you not want them to have?
I'm not sure what I don't think it was necessarily what they had. I think it was just as they were going through the draft that Renegades kind of maybe didn't perceive or think about the Drogos coming through and having that in their mind when they took the Jhin. So they kind of just got that free pick. And if they allow them to keep getting these random free picks, then I could see the Hype Boys coming back quite strong. And I think if they lose this game again now, if it goes to 2-2, I don't know whether Renegades have it in them then to come back to fight as hard as they need to win this set.
Yeah, that would be something, man. I mean, like, for it to be a 2-2, Hype Unit Minor League actually end up making this a tie, and then if they can even do it, if they take it over Hype Unit Minor League, dude. I mean, it's so many things that can play a factor here, but they actually are getting rid of the Cassie. Cassie, Atlas, Makoa, Willow, Khan has been locked in the first for the Renegades. What does that Cassie bet tell you? Are they going for, like, I mean, well, for one thing, they could be potentially looking for the Barry pick here. I mean, what does this tell you? Well, what are they trying to look for with this Cassie? Why Cassie?
Maybe they're going to try and go for the Ruckus. I think maybe they know that they're giving away the Khan to Renegades. Khan is definitely going to be taken on the board quite early. Maybe they're thinking themselves that Cassie is such a potential shutdown for the Ruckus. Maybe they want a Drogos Ruckus at some point themselves, because Drogos is phenomenal on this map. He can hold so many different angles on this map. They're instead going for, looks like the Eevee and the Strix. This gives them a lot of pressure with the Eevee to flank from different places. And then Strix on this map is really good. He can hold two different angles, normally from either from fire or closer towards stairs on the keep side. And Strix in general is just at the moment, it's just such a strong character. He has so much burst potential. Now there's only one flank that they can really take into him now, which is the Mave. And I don't think the Mave is as good as the Eevee into the Strix. The Mave's a little bit more predictable than Eevee, a little bit easier to shoot. So the Strix right now is going to look really strong for the Hype Boys.
Well, I mean, they've got Khan, they've got Barrick, they've got Genos, Barrick, Genos together once again in harmony, followed by that Khan first pick that RNG had. But I mean, that's just it so far. You know, Hype Unit side, of course, they have plenty of time to think about who they want to try locking in, what they want to try and go for. It's going to be the Eevee, it's going to be the Strix, it's hovering the Ashe, and it's going to be hovering the Anara. That's what we're looking at right now. We've got a pretty strong frontliner. Is this a Ying sort of composite? Like what is it? Like why? Like Anara, Ashe. I mean, like you've got the Damba as well as a possibility, but is this potentially Ying? I don't know why Ying's standing out to me right now.
Ying is good for Anara. Ying does phenomenal, really good heals for the Anara. You can also just leave her with some illusions and then go heal the rest of your team. So it would potentially work really well. The Eevee ult as well is really nice. You could also potentially see a Furia for the aggression. So you get the Furia and then the Strix gets one tag. That's the freest kill ever for the Eevee, or even the Ashe to just dash in. They have quite a nice aggressive playstyle here with the Eevee and Ashe, and then just the backline damage from the Strix. Renegade's definitely going to have to pick up the Mave here. They're going to need something to shut down this Strix, which I think the Mave is the... As I said, Eevee is definitely the better choice, but obviously it's taken by the enemy team. So I think it's definitely the best choice for them right now. Lian as well is a nice pickup. Lian is always just a safe pickup as well. You really can't go wrong with Lian on your team.
That's true. I mean, Leon, Mave, both of them already locked in. And finishing off the draft for RNG, Hype Unit, they've got their hero left and remaining. I mean, we could see the Maldon, we could see the Ying. I brought up the Ying, but it will be Io once again. It worked for them before. It can very, very well work for them again. It's just a matter of how is this going to go, man. I mean, I like the Io. I do like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Io's just such a strong pick at the moment. She changes the meta so dramatically. Having that deployable that can capture the point, it basically almost turns your team into a 6v5. So long as you use the IO effectively to capture the point and you're taking it off the... What a lot of lower tier players, I would say, that they do is they expect to leave the dog on the point and just let it do its thing. But you need to be able to be smart enough to take it off when it needs to be taken off, so you have a smaller cooldown on it. You don't want it to get destroyed. Make sure you're healing it up as well. You do need to treat it like another player sometimes, and if you do that correctly, you do make yourself almost, as I said, into a 6v5 team, and then they use that aggression from the player advantage. Such a phenomenally strong composition you can use.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important, especially with the IO last pick, man. I mean, this could be it. Hype Unit could tie it up, or Renegades could sweep out the rug from under them. Let's find out.
Let's find out if the Renegades can do it here. They go back to more traditional picks for themselves this time. But I was very nervous the moment that Hype Unit locked in that Eevee and that Strix, both on Pan and for Edgem. Those are two very scary DPSs to have to go up against if you're the Renegades.
I think they're scary DPSs to go up against, period. Then you add in this set, when you see who's playing them, it's going to be a lot. Especially with a nice Goddess Blessing right behind them from the IO. Keep them going a little bit longer, I think, in a lot of these engagements. No one to really contest the Strix. I mean, you have the Leon. We were both kind of hoping maybe for a Victor to be able to come through. Surprised and not surprised to see it be the Leon. That looks
way in the
Shadow
back. Shadow all the way
Moonchopper
around. Couldn't quite catch it. Somebody definitely way behind the team here. Edgem with the first kill, Shadow with the second, but first for the Renegades. 1-for-1 trade. Edgem with another one on the Strix. That's the power this champion brings. That sudden burst ability might make it 3. Misses the flare, but grabs some good chunk damage. Hero's able to get sustained. Shadow, though, rejoins the fight and has a few kills for himself as well. Hype Unit were able to stall out at 69% on the point. Shadow getting dangerously low there. Payan finally finishes off the Mave, but Renegades, they control this mid.
Payan, after a good Drogo's game, I think can kind of coast into this Eevee. It's going to be a lot different in terms of style, but I think he's going to be able to kind of apply that presence pretty well. Looking for the damage. Just 69% here for Hype Unit. Renegades looking to try and match that up right now as Hero takes control of the objective. But the fight feels like a Hype Unit fight right now. It's definitely in their control. They're slowly zoning it away, at least out of keep. We'll have to see if they can keep that control as it goes towards the objective.
You can feel the pressure just kind of mounting for Hype Unit here. They just need one good engagement. And Vocal poked out again. That Leon has to duck back around the side corner. Shadow deep in the back line finds the kill onto Payan. And now the off-tank battle rages. But backing off, I think, smartly here is Moonchopper. Overtime begins. Shadow with another kill onto Edgem. Flashbang used. Flashbang, not enough value there. 2 kills for Shadow, looking for 3, and he's going to find it. And the Renegades are going to take point number 1.
Yeah, this is, well, a classic story for Renegades, right? Shadow doesn't want to lose, and so Shadow is going to do anything and everything in his power. He is in a different zone, and it's moments like that. You know, you see this Maeve, maybe it is, maybe it isn't what you want to see out of it. But so far, he has been hitting hard. The problem I have is the consistency. Can he do that next round? Can he do it the round after that? If things go long, how many times are we going to see Shadow get a triple kill? How many times is that long flank route at the beginning going to work against Hype Unit? Adaptation is the name of the game. And I think Hype Unit have enough in their wheelhouse to maybe deal with it as time goes on.
This is an important, I think, engagement back and forth. They're spending a lot just to try to get back to that payload here. Assert dominance up, down from Hype Unit. Dome Shield used as well. Shadow poked back out of the engagement range. Just needs a few more daggers here. Lots of great targets for him to dive on top of. Good wall from Dethroner is going to keep him from finishing the kill onto T-Mac around the corner, and Vocal finds the shots. Dash forward as Payan is able to escape. But the Renegades are able to win that fight, and Vocal now doing the double kill thing, and the payload moves forward one more time.
They come through. A lot of good credits still on board here for Renegades. Dying, not the end of the world. Well, if you're viral or hero, you go back, spend some big money, come back into this fight a little bit stronger. You got a minute, so you do have a little bit of time to spare as well. But of course, they'd rather keep the Undying, the streak alive for themselves. There's, I think, a lot of pressure. A lot of good play from Edgem so far on this Strix.
Yep.
But
when he's not getting dove by Shadow.
Yeah, it's tamed up a little bit, right? Like before he was in their face getting aggressive. Now he's like, all right, I'm going to stay near this door, guys. I don't want to get too aggressive out here. It might be deadly out there.
It is deadly if Shadow is kind of free moving. Dethroner drops down the seismic crash, but that's not going to lock up Moonchopper, who had the overpower, and that one's good for a kill. Double kill now for the Khan as they round the corner. So many low health bars on Hype Unit. This payload's inching in. Edgem's going to have to drop down into the stealth just to delay maybe a little bit. Once they see some numbers, Void Grip connects. Payload in. And one more time, the Renegades go up 2-0.
And I feel like it's a little bit of a meme, mainly because Moonchopper, he's very excellent at Khan. And then he kind of falls off from Khan to Ashe. Then it falls off even further kind of down the list you go for him. But you first pick Khan, you give up the EV Strix, and it seems like, man, this might not be too good. It still might not. But I think him having Khan right now is a great stabilization point for Renegades. Keeping them alive in this allows them to stay aggressive. Kind of opened up the door for Shadow to come around and do this. And I mean, normally in Vocal's the guy we're talking about painting a target on his back, but Shadow's 10-2-1. He is the guy. You get rid of him early on, you make your life a lot easier if you're Hype Unit.
I don't think we can, overstate what Viral has done as well. He is on a 12 streak, 0-1-12. He's died and then hasn't died since, adding 12 assists. What a play from Shadow. Bounces back through that ice storm once he gets out of the damage range and is able to trade out a kill with Payan there. Flashbang flies through time and space, does the same, just misses the Strix. You can see Edgem's silhouette in the background. 42% in climbing now for the Renegades. Lots of ultimates used, only Enlightenment ready. Assert dominance as soon as well. As Tay finds it, goes up, down, and locks up one.
At least trying to do anything and everything he can to control Hero. You get rid of Hero, it doesn't matter what Shadow can do. It makes it a lot easier for you. But Ashe just showcased right there, great at dealing with Maeve. You don't even have to be aiming for her because you have this AoE. You can trace her very easily. We've seen that throughout the years. Specifically, I believe, the Chinese team, the 2018 Worlds where Na'Vi won. They were picking this. They were shutting down Maeve during that tournament because of it, and it kind of became more prominent based on their level of play.
They stall out at 99%. Edgem finding the first kill as well. That's very important. Dome Shield used by Hero, so that's a stall out ultimate now. Can you find any kills? Viral says yes, but he immediately dies. Enlightenment slides through, finds a little bit of damage, but no kills yet for Invocal. Dethroner rounds the corner, but in the meantime, Hero's winning the fight on the point. T-Mac goes down, and now it's 72 and climbing for the Renegades. Dethroner back around the corner, trying to extend his life just a little bit. Seismic Crash looking to find one. Does end up stunning up Moonchopper, but 93% is where the Renegades are stunned out now, or stalled out now, rather. 99%. Overtime begins. Hype Unit not in range. Point number 3 to the Renegades, 1 point away from the quarterfinals.
And honestly, this looks like something to seal the deal. Shadow is just off the chain right now. No one has him leashed down. No one's able to deal with him. and Invocal started stepping up to match that while they've been getting aggressive. Moonchopper as well. I want to take nothing away from him. He is having one of the best games I think I have seen him have. And if he can keep this level of performance up with the way that Pan's kind of getting caught out, much like that, it's definitely looking like Renegades can close this out here and now. A lot has to change for Hype Unit, otherwise they're going home.
If you're Hype Unit, now's the time, because there is no more time after this one. The Renegades, they have to feel it. You know, nerves are high in that booth right now after the season they've had, being one capture away. Honestly, at this point, doesn't matter how bad of a season you've had because you're at the same spot as a few of the other Premier League teams if you're able to win this one. So just 1 point away. Moonchopper has an overpower. Could be big. He might save that for the assert dominance that Tay is going to have to smartly use at the right time. Payan trying to keep his team in it as he's done at least once so far in this set. And what a road to this point Hype Unit have had as well. Vocal just poked out. Big shot by Edgem to keep the defense strong.
And right now, Edgem is kind of the one that needs to maybe pick up some of the slack that's coming down. Payan hasn't been having the best game. This Strix needs to be blowing things out of the water because of how much he gets banned. And I mean, I need a lasting performance. Just as an example, when I saw Strix's player model, you know what I thought? I didn't think Strix, I thought Ricotta. I almost said Edgem playing Ricotta instead of Edgem playing Strix. That's the kind of performance you need, something that embodies the champion.
These long-range sightlines is where he'll have to get it done. Tense moments here. Neither team wanting to overcommit. Payan hitting the ice block. Could be the first kill that tumbles this one out of control, but he's able to stay alive. Battle shout as well. Edgem being poked down. Hero finds the kill onto the Strix. Payan as well is able to trade out one. Ice Storm goes down. Is Shadow able to survive? Not for the moment, but he does. He turns around the damage, finds the kill. Hero drops down the Dome Shield. This could be the moment for the Renegades. Void Grip up onto Tay. Shadow with that last kill onto Payan through time and space is not going to connect. Tay still alive. Edgem back from the respawn, grabs one kill onto Shadow. Edgem dancing around in stealth is able to turn it around and double kill, but he falls as Moonchopper gets a double kill for himself. 3 kills for the Khan. Hero moves it in. The Renegades, they're going to the quarterfinals.
Doing everything in their power to keep that alive. It's a little shaky there in game number 3, but they're going to be moving forward and facing some, well, adversaries that they have faced plenty of times before, whoever they want. They, unfortunately, for Hype Unit fans, end their run here. You could almost taste it, and you can see the disappointment in their face. Yep. But Renegades, I think, more than excited to be able to stay afloat as of right now.
This has got to be a relief for the Renegades, guys. Yeah. Again, I said it towards the end of that game after the 2019 that these guys have had, only winning a few games in the PPL. Being able to fight your way through this week, you drop down to the losers bracket, you're able to fight through Hype Unit, arguably the best minor league team here. You end up in the same spot as all of the other Premier League teams, still won in the Knights. That still have to overcome Flashpoint, who have had a great story as well. Now you're fighting for seeding tomorrow, but if nothing else, they've found themselves in the knockout stage.
I mean, there's literally no team that Renegades can choose out of that. Actually, honestly, 4th seed might be the best because if I'm looking at their track record, they beat Na'Vi the most out of the other 4, so that might be the best bet for them. But a lot of pressure, I think, that is going to be taken off their shoulders for a few days. Going into Friday specifically, that's when things are going to maybe ramp up for them. They have pretty much some seeding games, but then one best of 7 between them and DreamHack.
That's right. Ooh, you gave me chills there, Gore. What a performance from Renegades. They grabbed the 3-1 win. They grab a berth in the quarterfinals. Desk, how you guys feeling?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, Hype Unit, unfortunately, do end up going down 3-1. I mean, it is unfortunate for them, but RNG, once again, these guys are not in the PPL without reason. They are showing their stuff, and they are showing it super effectively, which is why I'm so glad they actually won a 3-1.
Specifically in that last game, you just feel like I said I don't know if they have it left in the tank, and they proved me certainly wrong. They lost that one game, and they said, you know what, we're not having this. Straight back in for the 4-0 smackdown. I'm really proud of the boys of Renegades, and I'm glad they're moving forward.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, at first, they lost the last game. It's like, okay, it's pretty cute. You know, you got your IL. You guys were actually able to win your little game right there. And then now they were able to actually close it out how they needed to. We're going to take a look at the post-game stats for more of the story here. And we see it right there. I mean, Invocal, Shadow, the two of them, despite all that, 53,000 damage for Shadow, 83,000 damage for Invocal. Literally top damaging at that point. 58,000 for Hero. I mean, the damage is all looking good. The healing more than T-Mac. The slash lines on the Hype Unit PML team were looking a little bit rough. But Shadow, man, I mean, 4, 7, and 2. I mean, we talked about him before, but I feel like it is almost impossible not to talk about him again this game.
He did so good. And Vocal was definitely dropping out the damage, but Shadow was picking them kills up. Boy, 14 kills is just such a nice scoreline for what was a really fast game.
It was.
You know, you might look at 14 and think that's not a whole lot, but considering the fact that it was a quite tidy 4-0 sweep, that was a lot of kills.
Kills that he was, and being in the right spot at the right time, positioning really well as things went on too. And I mean, here we go. You have the overpower, you throw him off the side. I mean, you just find your team with that opening. Even a nice little triple kill, cleanup at the end for him too. So I mean, shout outs to him and the rest of Renegades as well.
Really nice plays as well. There was one point at the end there as well, though, where Edgem got away with 1 HP and got the double kill. We were just like, ooh, Edgem, spicy, baby. Fortunately, not quite enough for the Hype Boys, though, but shout out to him as well. Phenomenal plays as well.
Right, yeah, once again. I mean, it was looking kind of like a little bit surprising because we both were back here and we just come back and we just see Edgem. It was like double kill. I'm like, oh, okay. And, but unfortunately, they weren't able to actually close that out. But still, I mean, once again, you have the Renegades, you have these people that can sort of be the talk of the town. I mean, they pull out huge wins like Na'Vi, and then once again, you see them lose pretty often. But at the same time, it is literally no. It is no statement. It is nothing to be surprised about the fact that why this team is in the PPL, how they do as well as they do, and they can end up going toe-to-toe or really just above and beyond a minor league team, console team, no matter who it is. Once again, they're in the PPL for a reason, guys.
Specifically when you look at the minor league team that was basically undefeated.
Right.
And then if you're going to be able to beat them quite handily in the 3-1 with a 4-0 nice finisher, I think there's not really much left to say anymore. Like, those boys deserve their place. They're a good team. They're just in a tough league.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. It's just they are in an extremely tough league fighting against the best of the best players. I'm vouching for them a little bit, but at the same time, Hype Unit, once again, they were undefeated. That was not going to be an easy match to be able to fight against, and they still were able to do that, still able to climb up to the top and exceed expectations for what some people may have had for the Renegades. Once again, shout out to them. They did really, really good.
They did. I'm proud of my boys.
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of them, too. It's a matter of how are they going to be able to proceed from this point moving forward, right? It was a good game today. It was 3-1, perfect set for them. But moving forward, it's not going to be easy, man. Even right after this game, we've got, like, Flashpoint versus Pittsburgh Knights. Flashpoint's got a lot to live up to, being one of the only remaining console teams left as well.
Yeah, especially coming up against the Knights as well. The Knights, they're a tough team. Whether they're going to be able to pull that out against Knights as the same as they did against All Business, I'm probably going to have to lean a little bit towards the no side. All Business, I'm going to be honest, did not have a fantastic game that day, nor did they have good drafts either. So it was kind of both sides of the coins that could go wrong for All Business went wrong that day. And I'm not taking anything away from the Hype Unit boys. Absolutely phenomenal games from them, but it was the perfect time and the perfect opportunity for them to show up, and I don't think Knights are going to give them that opportunity.
Right, exactly. Once again, you're going up against the Pittsburgh Knights. You guys have to be afraid. But, of course, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We're going to throw it right down to the interview with the winners with Viral and Vocal.
Well, guys, you are now going to the quarterfinals, so congratulations first and foremost.
Thank you.
And I guess the easiest question for me is the hiccup. Jaguar Falls, I want to know maybe what went wrong on that map that you're maybe looking to clean up going forward.
We need to just improve our Jaguar Falls. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not our best map. It's really not the greatest.
I'm curious, after the season you guys have had up and down, what does it mean? Still placement games to happen tomorrow. What does it mean to you guys to have a berth in the knockout rounds in the quarterfinals?
It feels amazing to qualify. Yeah, honestly. It feels really good. Yeah, so I honestly just want to keep on playing. Yeah. I'm not out of it yet.
I'm sure, after great performances, honestly, just all around from the team, but the one that I think stood out the most, normally in Vocal, we're always talking about your slash line, everything that's going well for you. Shadow, for this set, was just going insane. When you put him on Bomb King, was that like just intuition? Like, you're like, yeah, this is going to work out well for us?
Yeah, this man popped off. He's insane at Bomb King. literally right after SSG, we're just like, you know what, we should just start playing toilet comfort picks because, you know, we put Shadow on like what, Zin, and like Shadow, we haven't even put Shadow on Zin in scrims like ever. So it's like, you know, we're just like, you know what, let's give Shadow BK, and I mean it worked out.
And
Shadow popped off.
I mean that's been a weird thing. Like you're the only team right now that seems to be picking Zin. Where is he coming from? Like does he have a place in the meta, or are you just kind of trying him out, getting a feel for him?
I mean he's really just good on Jaguar Falls. That's like the biggest map that we're picking him on, but. Yeah.
Well, as long as we see maybe the tightening up on Jaguar Falls, as you guys have put it, and maybe Shadow just keep on being Bomb King as much as he has.
And pops
it's
off.
looking like it's a good future for you guys. Tomorrow you'll be playing for seeding, but today you have qualified, and that's all that really matters. You win once again. Congratulations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Give me
Welcome back to PWC Qualifiers Day 3. 3 of your quarterfinalists are locked in. One spot still left up for grabs, and two teams looking to grab it. Pittsburgh Knights going up against Flashpoint, the console team that's upset everyone along the way, and now stand a big test up against the Pittsburgh Knights. Blue, your console boys, they're still alive. They got one more win before they can qualify to the quarterfinals, but it's going to be their biggest test yet, maybe.
Well, this is a rough one, I'm not going to lie. I was expecting them to play Kenga, and, you know, you go through the motions in a tournament, and you're like, okay, that team beat this team beat that team, so theoretically we should beat this team, and we shouldn't beat that team. But it all comes down to matchups. I was saying earlier, if they have to play Kenga, to me they have a good chance because they can out-tank Kenga in the matchup. But with Knights, you've got Ricotta on Strix. You've got Skeppy, who's been popping off this weekend. So Flashpoint has a big
do you think there is as clear a path forward as maybe you saw with Kanga, where you're thinking, all right, our front lines, if you're saying, you know, the front line for Flashpoint can match up well against Kanga? Do you see maybe an avenue forward against the Knights where certain roles match up very well, or anyone has to step up in particular if you're Flashpoint?
I think Flashpoint has the better off tank with Goodlad.
Sure.
So I would hope that Goodlad can step up. I mean, we've seen Goodlad play all sorts of things all season. We even seen him play Buck earlier this week in the Console Wars finals. He has been tremendous. I mean, to me, he's the best flex right now in console. We've seen him play Grok this year. We've seen him play Victor. We've seen him play Khan. We've seen him play main tank as well. I mean, if you go all the way back throughout his career, he's been a main tank for an entire season. He's been a flex for an entire season. They won Spring LAN. He was playing damage at the time.
That's right.
And he's been playing tremendous this weekend. You know, him and Legacy both as the 2 tanks kind of weren't all there during the console wars. You know, maybe a little bit of a slow start. That loss there kind of humbled the both of them.
Right.
They both are walking differently in the hotel, and they're speaking differently, and they know that if they lose, they go home. They also know, and Goodlad especially, knows that they're the last hope for console.
That's right. And you know, yesterday they experienced that. They knew going into their matchup against All Business, it was win or go home. Not only did they win convincingly with a 3-0 victory over All Business, and I'll admit, I was very surprised. I think a lot of people were very surprised with what they showed yesterday, so they can hang with some of the best players in the world, and that they, in fact, are as well some of the best players in the world. And, you know, while we may say they match up better against this team versus this team, you saw how close they were in a couple matches against SSG. They're going up against a Knights team that has lost already today.
I thought the Knights were going to win this whole thing.
So a lot can change. You talk about emotions. You know, I know that there's a lot of kind of level-headed, you know, veteranship on that roster that can keep everybody in check. But when you're playing as the Knights earlier in the winners bracket, there's not as much pressure. You know, if you win that one, you're into the quarterfinals. If you lose, you still have another chance in the losers bracket. But not anymore. This is you win and you move on to the knockout round, or you lose and you go home. And after everything we've seen from the Knights, the progress they've made this split, I don't think they're ready to go home right now. I certainly don't think they expected to be in this position. And we mentioned Goodlad from Flashpoint, the guy he's going up against in G-Bunny. I mean, he's going to have to counter out a lot of what you mentioned Goodlad brings. G-Bunny's going to have to do just the same.
Yeah, G-Bunny is definitely going to have to step up. We saw them earlier, and you say, you know, there's a lot of pressure on them because it's an elimination match, but I don't think it's too much more pressure than they had in the winners bracket, because their expectations coming into this tournament were super high.
Yeah.
Gore and I said, you know, if you take away split one, they finished 3rd overall. They had expectations to win this. I thought they were going to win this. Now they're down in the losers bracket. G-Bunny in that first set didn't look comfortable on the Khan. Didn't look comfortable on the Atlas. He was having a tough time. He played Ashe. He played the Ashe better than he did the Khan and Atlas in those other games, but he's going to have to really step up, him and Simsalou as well.
Yeah, those are highlights from this morning, by the way, and you can see those sudden moments of burst where the G-Bunny that we've seen over the second split, as you pointed out, if you just take the 14 games from split 2, they're in 3rd place. That's kind of what they need to cycle back to, I think. I think confidence should be high here if you're the Pittsburgh Knights. You come into this tournament technically as the 2nd seed, just one behind Space Station Gaming. Flashpoint, again, technically 9th seed, now have moved themselves into the round 3 of the losers bracket. So this one, you know, it's another one I think still you lean towards the Knights, the veteranship, the growth that we've seen out of them in the Premier League this split. It caters to you leaning their way. I still think there's some unpredictability with Flashpoint, though. The improvement and the cleanliness, honestly, of a lot of their wins yesterday could catch the Knights off guard.
There's a lot of things that could be running through people's minds. I mean, if Flashpoint wins this, people are going to say, how good is this console team?
Yeah.
Then again, the other PC teams already qualified, you know, the top 4 and the ones that qualified today, they're going to look and say, okay, this console team is serious, you know?
Yeah.
And the Knights are going to say, we expected to win this, and we lost to a console team. And
that's right.
Does that make All Business feel a little bit better? I mean, there's so many things that are going to run through everyone's mind if Flashpoint's able to pull this out. Cinderella story, of course. Are they able to keep it going? I mean, as an
Remains to be
analyst,
seen.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
as a fan of console,
That's right.
I
That's
hope.
right. As a console man, you hope they can. I mean, again, seeds 1, 3, and 4 coming into this tournament already qualified to the quarterfinals. Still waiting on either 2 or 9 between the Knights and Flashpoint. It's sure to be a good matchup. I think the Knights probably brush off kind of the game from earlier today, come back in, revitalized, look at this one as what it is, a game that they're favored in, and then maybe step forward after that. Map bands, bottom of your screen, Jaguar Falls and Frog Isle taken away by Flashpoint. Jaguar Falls by the Knights, Brightmarsh, and Splitstone Quarry as well. Do you agree with Flashpoint taking away Jag Falls?
I agree with them taking away Frog Isle because
Oh, wait, yeah, Frog Isle. Frog Isle.
they took away. Oh, I didn't even notice that the
No,
Jaguar Falls was on the other side.
Right,
but
I
Frog
flipped it around.
Isle is a map that they've banned every single week in the PCL.
Yes.
They banned it every single time they've had to play here this weekend. They just saw the Knights play very, very well on it earlier. So, I mean,
So I think that's a fine band to take off. You're right, Jaguar Falls was the other team, but Frog Isle taken away by Flashpoint. Pittsburgh Knights select Ascension Peak for the first pick of this best of 5, looking to put their best foot forward first. Now we can dive back in. There's been a lot of bouncing back and forth kind of between metas with these teams where, the Knights face Hype Unit Console, and then they go up against Kanga today. Now they drop back down against a console team, so they kind of have to go bounce back and forth. I don't think too much maybe changes strategy-wise. It's maybe these little changes. And one big thing that the Knights leaned on in their win over the Hype Unit Console team was that Strix for Ricotta.
yeah. So the Knights here banned out the Vivian Victor, of course, because they're going against a console team. But you see Strix being first picked. We saw that as a huge pick for Flashpoint yesterday for Skeppy. Here's an interesting tidbit. We've been saying, or me especially, of saying, Simsalu's not really, he hasn't woken up yet.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not
true.
really awake. So they just let Maeve go through. They let Eevee go through.
Sure.
And they picked the Maeve. So and they have the Strix. So Ricotta Sims, there's their picks. I don't expect the Eevee to come through unless, of course, Flashpoint use it. The reason why I would say that the console team is going to use it is because Skeppy's on his keyboard.
That's true.
apparently
That's
today.
right. There's only a couple of members of Flashpoint actually still playing back on the controllers. So a few of them, 3 of them, in fact, have pivoted to mouse and keyboard. I know Prosper Logic was on the controller, and he still looked great in the matches up to this point. So I can't imagine he looks worse at all. I assume he continues his same level of play here. Knights grab themselves Strix, Maeve, and Barrack. 3 phenomenal picks, I think, for the roster that they have. Ash and Khan, so some off-tank aggression. Pair that with an Io, I think makes a lot of sense. And then grab yourselves Leon. I mean, between Skeppy and Prosper Logic, both can play it at the highest level. We saw a lot of that out of Skeppy yesterday as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Leon, very good against Maeve, kind of like the anti-flank, sitting in the back line, protecting Io. Io, though, can put out some damage as well.
That's true.
But Ascension Peak was played for Flashpoint yesterday. I think it was the last game that they closed the set out on, the third
Right.
game. And they ran the double support with Grok.
True.
And remember, I was saying the Strix with the combo duo of the DPS, that was like their bread and butter. They get the Strix taken away from them, and they were still able to win because the Grok was the big play. We do see Barrack into play and a Ruckus. So Barrack Ruckus into a Grok, that's not good. And we could see a Grok come out for Flashpoint here. It all depends on if they're able to take this Ruckus.
I agree. They're hovering it for now. Grok, a big part of the game plan pretty much throughout the set yesterday that Flashpoint were able to take over all business. Still thinking long and hard about it. I mean, they have to know. If you're the Knights, you have to be considering the fact that a Grok is in the cards for Flashpoint very much so as a cornerstone of their composition in a lot of their wins yesterday. Furia locked in for the healer. They are going to round out with the Ruckus. So now, up to Flashpoint, what you pivot to. You leave this last damage pick open to some flex. Grok, I agree, maybe jumps to the forefront of my mind.
That is a very aggressive comp from the Knights, even with the Strix in there. The Inflame can provide the speed and the damage amp for everyone on that team. That's pretty dangerous when you have a Barrack and a Ruckus as your front lines. But same time, I mean, Flashpoint used Grok. It worked out for him against a PC team yesterday. Knights, very, very good PPL team, but the Buck could come out as well.
Interesting.
Could be spicy.
Okay, they lock it in. Do you like them rounding out their composition with a Buck here?
I think Skeppy's going to be the buck on keyboard. So
Yeah.
I like the Knights draft better.
Yeah, I think I'm still scared of the Strix Mave if I'm playing against Simsalou and Ricotta specifically. Pair that with the Furia, sudden aggression looks good for them. Sudden aggression is maybe what Flashpoint needs to counter out the Knights. Can the Cinderella story of the Console League team continue? We'll go down to your casters to find out.
Indeed. Can it continue? That's the biggest question today. I mean, the Knights, no slouches at all whatsoever. I mean, Flashpoint definitely have their work cut out for them. It's going to be a hard-fought battle for them, and PK are just going to have to bring their A game to make sure they can win.
I feel like Flashpoint's kind of straying away from what got them the win, too. Blue was mentioning the Grok. I feel like they could have stuck with that. They could have kind of pushed for that in their draft. Ruckus would have been pretty good, at least at running the Grok down, but either way, they ended up going with Buck on a pretty open map. I feel like it might be too easy for the Strix to just stop that Buck before he can do much of anything.
I agree with that too. I mean, it's all down to positioning, your positional awareness as well, and being able to know where you are in relative space to the enemy team is going to be able to set up that Strix for plenty of kills, plenty of headshots, and plenty of damage. I mean, it's going to be, once again, an uphill battle for Flashpoint, man. I mean, they are going up against a monstrous team. And as one of the only, well, really the only remaining console team left in the bracket, I mean, they've got a lot to prove.
I'm just going to say this really quick. I highly doubt Prosper Logic is actually on Alacrity. If it is, it's because he thinks he's going to get Dove and is using it just for more mobility. Eminence, more than likely what he's running. We'll find out in his first presence. And yep, 906 means that it will be Eminence here. Ruckus actually really aggressive time from the main, but the Ruckus immediately taking down Storm Avatar.
They both come around the corner, coming out swinging. My goodness. 2 kills for Simsalou, a double. 1 for G-Bunny. Make that a single. But Goodlad's going to find 2, but at what cost? The costs of the fight. I mean, 42% for Pittsburgh Knights and Flashpoint are just going to end up respawning, coming out of their base, and man, oh man, are they looking good.
A lot of aggression from high mobility characters. Very difficult for controllers to react. I believe, just correction, I think that Storm Avatar is the only one keyboarding on Flashpoint. That's what I was told.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
told.
him going down immediately, no one else can really react really quickly to that aggression. Skeppy, I'm not sure how much leg day he's running, but it's enough to get all the way back there onto Ricotta and burn him down. 2, just enough for him to take that kill.
Well, Simsalou's all the way in the back. He's putting pressure on the Storm Avatar. He's already being dealt with the last hit from Zerini. Same thing. Same case for Prosper Logic, getting them both low, but Cuss is left on the point. He's the one that's staying behind the pillars. He's going to be able to go down, but Zerini's going to make sure that he gets a triple of his own. Good Lads being followed up with, and he's going to go down. Ricotta's also on the point. They're just stacking, killing, and capturing points. First point for Pittsburgh Knights, and a successful push.
And I don't think it's going to be the last with how that looked for them. Prosper Logic having to back up here. Bunny Simsalou, they are the pair to watch in this game. They're going to be so aggressive all over the back line of Flashpoint, especially since it's basically only the Leon and the Io. They're going to have to figure something out. Bunny gets found out early by Goodlad, but just managed to get away.
Oh, wow,
Perfect
the fire
by Cuss. Keeps him alive, and a stun, too. Great play by the support to keep his off-tank alive.
Very, very good power strike. You heard it flash out, and the clock also strikes midnight, but Ricotta is still going to go down. Zerini even wants a piece. He wants to go in the back fight. Storm Avatar, he's going to get him, but Prosper is going to avenge his fallen teammate. The Enlightenment goes out. Neo, but unfortunately, you're just not going to be able to fight against some of these teams, these players, man. They are putting on this aggression. You get rid of Zerini, he's off of the point, but they've got a minute 40 and a good kill on a Legacy too. It's just going to be able to keep that pressure.
Zerini just baits them into Ricotta's sightline. A couple misplays from the Knights, but it doesn't end up mattering in the end. 2 kills from Prosper. Still ends up going back in their favor because of Ricotta coming back on that respawn. He was the first one to die, so he's the first one back. Now they're setting up for this. Zerini 7-0 currently pushing on the payload. They know Skeppy's coming from the right. They see Legacy over here as well. Ricotta barely takes any damage from that flank. Eminence does not connect, so he stays perfectly healthy. You're able to watch these angles. Zerini still moving the card. Has Dome Shield if he chooses to use it, but it looks like the aggression tried to come in, but got forced out by both tanks on the side.
Well, Zerini's eating a lot of damage from Prosper in that back. He's going to take care of him. A good presence on the Cuss already, and he's firing openly. A good Enlightenment to follow that up. You've got a double for Prosper, and now they're being able to force the Pittsburgh Knights back, but you've got Dome Shield. You've got Inflame as well. G-Bunny's back on the point. Just a contest for a little bit longer, but it won't even matter because he won't be able to push that in with 45 seconds left.
I think he was just trying to get some more ult charge. Looks like he's not quite there yet, so just ran in to get some damage. Everyone on Flashpoint backs up to buy some more items. Skeppy picks up Cauterize 2. Looks like a Wrecker 2 picked up by Prosper Logic as well. So itemization, fairly even across the board. small advantage towards the Knights, as expected, that you get a 300 credit boost for capturing the neutral point at the start of the round. Bunny gets caught out here, but this Inflame might flip this around. Maybe this is a trap for Flashpoint.
Already, but G-Bunny was already looking pretty low when that Inflame got used, so Skeppy is the one that's going to have to be able to fight. Dome Shield gets dropped. They're looking at more and more people. Skeppy goes down first. You got Legacy, the assert dominance, but the firing right into the air, right on top of him. Focus fire ends up with Legacy dead in the middle of assert dominance, but Simsalou is going to find 1 kill. So is Zarini. They're going to be able to find enough to potentially end this game, or at least end the round, I should say. Prosper Logic is down. Skeppy jumps back in, but it's not going to be enough because he soars right over, and Pittsburgh Knights ease their way into a win.
One thing Legacy's going to have to learn is that people can actually react to assert dominance in this league. Up is a direction people can look, and it burned him down before he could touch. Good news for Flashpoint, though. That means assert dominance is still going to be up and available for the next fight, able to buy some time and do what they need. If they can buy time, maybe they can slow down the dive from the Knights, because they are going to continue to be that aggressive. They did burn the Dome Shield. Begon was used in response, but it didn't end up finding much of anything, so definitely important how these ultimates get used here. Want to see exactly what the Knights are working with. Hexafire, Midnight, Flashbang, all available. No Inflame, but that will charge pretty quickly. Prosper Logic also topping the damage charts. Good Lad having a pretty great game too so far, 7-3, but he's just not the target. It's Legacy, it's Storm Avatar. That's who the Knights are focusing on, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon.
Yeah, you've got the Flashbang, you got Midnight, you got Hexafire, you got some ultimate stuff. Same thing for Flashpoint, but the Midnight once again being used. Everyone's grouped up over there. They're gonna have to back off. He's using the Hexafire. G-Bunny has a Assert Dominance all the way in the back, but Cuss is gonna be able to slide himself right out of that sticky situation right there. And G-Bunny stuck in the corner. He's being fired at freely, but Simsalou in the back line wreaking hell on top of Flashpoint. Skeppy is gonna go down on top of him. Legacy is stuck in a one-on-one with G-Bunny, but he's still, with that shielding and that healing, is gonna be hard to take down. Simsalou is well aware of his friend G-Bunny up in the top row, but he's gonna be able to capitalize on that as well with 72% and a good snipe and a good dagger. They're gonna leave Prosper dead as well. Ricotta is gonna be able to go down, but Good Lad still is gonna fall 96% to 99 to a point capture to a 3-0 for the Pittsburgh Knights.
What a disastrous mid-fight from Flashpoint. They had to I don't think they could have had less map control unless they stayed in their spawn. They didn't leave that back corner whatsoever. The Knights just completely surrounded them. The Assert Dominance just ended up standing in front of a ruckus. They need to find something out quickly, at least in terms of how they want to control the map, because they just seem afraid to leave those corners. Knights right now, Simsalou taunting here on the back left side just to keep vision. Sounds like an Inflame potentially coming in to burn these tanks. Simsalou finds Prosper, and that's exactly what Knights want to see to start this fight.
You heard Incinerate them, and Simsalou will deliver in kind by finding the opening kill on the Prosper Logic. Good Lad will be able to take down Simsalou, but at what cost? The rest of his team, the Pittsburgh Knights, are pushing in. The overpower goes through. They are able to get Zarini, make sure that they punish him for pushing up a little bit too far. Good Lad, once again on this con, is doing a lot despite how heavy his team is getting pressured right now. Storm Avatar goes down, but still, a minute 30, and they're still alive, they're still living, and Ricotta is not backing off. They will stand their ground, and they will fight.
See this pressure from the Knights once they try to get back in. Prosper goes back to spawn, re-heals. Health is pretty good across the board for Flashpoint, but a couple ultimates are up for the Knights. I would expect to see Dome Shield coming up very soon, paired with the Hexafire, but it's not really finding anything yet. Everyone in Flashpoint's just in cover.
Ricotta is going to go down thanks to Skeppy. Buck's already in the back line. He's going buck wild. He's going to be able to find not one kill, but two. Legacy's going to be the one that gets the last hit. The damage came out from Skeppy, but Zarini is going to get shot right in the back. G-Bunny's trying to fight, but once again, they have to back off.
This is the hardest 1v5 I've ever seen Good Lad have to play. 12-4 on his team. I cannot believe the performance that he's having. Honestly, that's why I'm saying that, because it's crazy by him. Prosper is doing a great job outputting damage, but Good Lad is always there to find and finish the kill. Buck not having the greatest game, but it's so hard into a Strix. He has so much overwhelming damage. Ricotta will be connecting those shots for sure. Legacy locking down the far right side. Might be moving to use something. A combo was used by the Knights. Hexa Dome Shield, so only really Midnight up for them, but that could be enough as long as they catch someone out in time to get a pick. Probably waiting for some damage to work off of. Bunny just poking and prodding over here on the left. Bunny Simsalou now moving in, but Simsalou backs up, just can't find it. Flashbang might start this fight.
Nice, actually. Yeah, Flashbang is going to start the fight. It's going to force Good Lad back. Once again, the clock strikes Midnight for several times throughout this match. Fire Strike goes out to see if they can get a stun. Not going to be able to do it, but they will be able to find the kill onto Good Lad. Stun on the Zarini, kill onto Ricotta, but the fight's still breaking out all over the place. Let's fight, says Ash, as she lands directly in the middle of the archway. Managing to get a couple stuns, but it won't matter. They will actually still get stunned and rolled potentially by the Pittsburgh Knights, with Prosper Logic going down first. Cuss being taken out though. That's absolutely huge. They got rid of their healer. The overtime timer's still there, but G-Bunny still wants to fight. They want to be able to do this, but once again, what are you gonna do when the man's actually healing in front of your face? He has too much DR and a successful defense from Flashpoint.
Honestly, shout out to Storm Avatar there for catching Skeppy in
Agreed.
that last moment. The
Agreed.
healing from the IO, too much to deal with. Not only does Buck have the DR when he uses the recovery, but he also has in his build, more than likely, Rapid Sustain, probably 3 or 4, which gives him that extra level of Rejuvenate, makes him even harder to finish off when he's low HP. Couple ultimates available for Flashpoint. You have the Begone, you have the Overpower. That Overpower has to connect, and Good Lad has been connecting a lot of good kills already so far through this game. That's what I think we have to look out for here. If that doesn't connect, I don't know what Flashpoint have. Knights have no ults, but they're getting close to a few. Dome Shield, Hexafire, that could really swing this in their favor.
I mean, the Rezilla is coming online for Flashpoint, so good on them for optimizing properly and accordingly to the situation that they are being presented with right now. Pittsburgh Knights, though, 3-1 with already opening percentage on the point. Once again, the fights are breaking around the place, and they actually do get the overpower that's going to be really, really big. They actually have it directly on the G-Buddy. They're firing, and he's still alive! How is the man still alive and you still get the kill on a Good Lad? Simpson's in the back. How is he living for that long? A double kill for the man with the knives, and he's gonna have to back up, but another kill for Simpson despite that. 87 health, but that's no problem whatsoever for the man with the daggers. 36% for the Pittsburgh Knights. You've got Hexafire, you've got Dome Shield. My goodness, what can you do to be able to stop this?
When you hear about Maeve being hard to kill, just rewatch that video if you want some proof. She just does not go down. 78%. They have to make it to the objective soon, but there's a Strix in the way. So much damage. Maybe the Ashe can dash down mid. It doesn't look like they're watching those stairs, but doesn't manage to make it in time. Dome Shield's in the way, and the Knights take a 4-1 victory on Ascension Peak.
What do you do in this situation? I mean, it was absolutely flawless, the perspective that the Knights have. I mean, except for, that one
Flashpoint
point,
had a solid
defense. They did. They had a very, very solid defense towards the end. But once again, dude, I mean, do you know what happened with G-Bunny right there?
With G-Bunny in the end?
With the overpower.
I think it was just the Leon shooting him, and I don't believe Prosper had the Eminence cooldown.
Okay.
That's the only possibility to me.
Okay.
Eminence used, then Overpower comes in. Overpower is only like 4 or 5 seconds. If you don't have Eminence, Leon really doesn't do that much damage.
Right.
Prosper wants to hold on to his Grace cooldown so he has a dash to get away once Simpslu comes in. If he uses it, Simpsy comes in, gets a 3K.
Well, Pittsburgh Knights, once again, 1-0 at such a peak already said and done. Right after this break, we'll be right into Game 2.
Oh, despite a small hiccup, the Pittsburgh Knights were able to grab themselves the 4-1 win on Ascension Peak. We talked this week, or really yesterday, and on the death segment to start off this set, that Simpslu really needed to kind of step up and get out there and help the Pittsburgh Knights cross that finish line. Blue, I think he did that a few times over in that game.
He did, especially towards the end there. He was one shot. I think he had like 87 HP left.
Yeah.
Buck, one shot as well. Buck lost that one.
Yeah, he did lose that engagement. And when you have something like that on your team, the ability, the sudden pop-off potential, things always tend to go in your favor. Top damage in the game is over to Prosper Logic at 71,000. Healing, a little bit discrepant, though. Cuss Cutie, call it 100,000 for him, about 44,000 behind him is Storm Avatar. And Ricotta was able to hang in there damage-wise with that Strix. Not quite the incredible performance out of it, but I think Simpsy at 12, 5, and 14, a big difference maker. You have a Maeve, and then Zerini at 14 and 4. You have the ultimate front line controlling that area, and then when you have Simpsy on the Maeve at 12, 5, and 14, controlling kind of the back line, doing the flanky thing, seems to work out in your favor.
Yeah, we talked about G Bunny having to step up because Good Lad could outplay him in the off-tank position. It goes the other way around for the main tank position. I mean, Zerini is outplaying Legacy. Simsaloo is absolutely disgusting. Look at that. He still lived, and then right here, hits the jump, finishes off the triple kill. Disgusting. Maeve's got a lot of DR, and Buck kind of lost some DR over the last couple months, so he's able to sustain himself a lot longer these days, and
just needed a few more daggers to clean up the kill. And I thought in the moment that the Be Gone was going to get him off of the map. It damaged him down to double-digit health. Not enough to get the kill, though. I love how, like, lengthy some of those highlights are, and only in a good way, where he is extending these fights just so much longer. And that's always been kind of the threat with the Knights, where they're, I think, a well-rounded team. They have guys in every position that can, you know, really make a difference in any regard. But that sudden potential for a big triple kill, you know, a big double kill to kind of turn things around, that's what Simsaloo brings. And I'm scared. If I'm Flashpoint, I'm nervous that he started off this set that well. I think they came in, I wouldn't say they had a chip on their shoulder from earlier today. You know, I think that more frustrated than anything. But I think came out with something to prove, and that's what you get with Simpsy.
Yeah, another thing is in that replay when Prosper Logic on the Leon hit his ultimate, the Enlightenment, Zerini's shield went up. Simsaloo gets the kill.
True.
But that shield right there, that was perfect.
Yep.
It was blocking 3 people plus the Enlightenment. So not only is he getting a lot of kills alongside Simsaloo, he's putting up good utility from his abilities as well. But that was tough. If I'm Flashpoint, I'm going back to our game plan from yesterday.
Is Shattered Desert a part of that game plan, you think?
Yeah.
Knights picked Ascension Peak. You think Shattered Desert's a good pivot here for Flashpoint?
They played well against SSG on it. Lost
That's almost an understatement.
In a 99-99.
Great, yeah.
They won on it yesterday against All Business. I think they're taking them here specifically on purpose. I think they should go back to the GOATs they were running yesterday.
Sure.
To be honest. I mean,
I miss it, dude. That was fun to watch.
Here's the thing. If they lose this game and go down 0-2, most teams would be like, let's just try it. Let's try GOATs or Sky or Desperation. Right. Desperation times now. You don't want to go down 0-2.
That's true.
This ain't a 7-game set. This is 5 games. You need to go now.
Now could be the time to pivot, and
they might take the Strix here. There it is.
And I think that is smart from them, because although Ricotta didn't have the same pop-off performance as he did against Hype Console, that threat is there. Same with Simsaloo. The threat for that sudden, incredible performance with Ricotta on that Strix, I think, is too much to keep rolling the dice on. You know, one of these games he's going to end up connecting, and it's going to be very painful if you're the Knights. And conversely, I think Flashpoint have made the Strix look very, very good over the last few days. I think it's good to take it away from the Knights and great to give it to yourselves.
Yeah, Skeppy's been playing amazing on the Strix. What's really crazy, right, is that this is PC versus console. There's 3 players on Flashpoint using keyboards, is from what I've been told. But yesterday, 4 or all 5 of them used controllers, and they won. At MSI, 4 of them were using keyboards, and they lost. And plug the controllers back in, boys. Plug the controllers back in.
Yeah, we might need them. Might need them here against the Knights, and they go down 1 early. Not something they had to run into yesterday in their set against All Business. Didn't drop a single map. Now Flashpoint looking to round out their top 3 picks as Barrick and Ash go over to the Knights. Lock down a little bit of that front line presence. You know, Zerini, what he brought with Barrick in the last game, if he can continue that, it's good for them. Genos still looms large for the Knights. If you pair that with the Barrick, things might be good for you. They're hovering the Talus.
That might be that might be a little
DM. I don't think that's a lock-in Talus.
I will tell you, the con for Good Lad, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been playing phenomenal on it, even in that last game. There was a moment where they overpowered the Ruckus, and they weren't able to kill him fast enough. He survived, got thrown out of it, stayed on the map, and then they wiped Flashpoint after that. They've got to kill that. They've got to communicate on those much faster. If you're not going to throw him off the map, you need to burn him. Turn and burn in under a second, 1.5 seconds max.
Team, I got him. Turn around and kill him. Go about your day. That's what Con sometimes requires if, as you put it, can't get him off of the map. Still,
I don't care if you're in a 1v1 on the other side of the map. You're helping us.
Somebody turn around and get him.
If we kill Ruckus.
Right. That's a big difference maker. The Hexifier a couple of times really turned things around. We saw that with Sadak earlier in the day today. Ying Cassie locked in here for the Knights. Good tank burn in the Cassie. Good all-around sustain for the Ying. Inara locked in here, or at least being hovered at the moment for Flashpoint. Still seeking that potentially one final damage dealer. If they do end up going Inara here.
I would like...
Could be a Grok still.
Yeah. Grok would still be good. A lot of open map with the Ying clones and Barrack turrets as well. I like the Inara pivot because Legacy played Ashe last game. He's a good Ashe player against other console players.
Yeah.
But at this level, you've got to go with what you're good at. He's good at Inara, he's good at Makoa, and he's good at Barrack. I don't see him playing Makoa, so Inara, Barrack, give it to him. Barrack's taken, give him the Inara. Leon's going to come out. I would have taken the Grok pretty much.
Yeah, I think Grok worked very well for them yesterday, but it's not going to be here for Flashpoint. They go back to, I think, a relatively tried and true composition, though, with one of Prosper or Skeppy on the Leon. I would assume it's Prosper here on the Leon, give Skeppy the Strix. But round out with the Furia as well. Yeah. Ruckus is the case here for the Knights. Do you like what Flashpoint have picked for themselves?
Ruckus is really good on Shattered, and he's underestimated on that map. Leon's a really good pick for Prosper, but Prosper's Grok into Ying clones, Ruckus, and Barrack, and that aggression on the Tempest paired with Furia, I think that would have been better. I like Pittsburgh Knights draft here.
Yeah, I think what they bring, kind of the all-around, whether it's front line of control, aggressive off-tank play, enough sustain to kind of last through. Granted, Strix and Leon are very bursty. You catch a few too many of those shots, and you're dead no matter how much sustain you have. Flashpoint, they're looking for win number 1 in Game 2.
Game 2, indeed, with a triple frontline composition to be able to start this out. And that's what I like to see. I like to see these triple frontline compositions backed by a Ying. I mean, the Illusory Rift's going to keep a lot of sustain, and I love it. I love to see it.
I also love seeing Custis Ying. I think he's really good at the champion. Definitely makes the most of her abilities, and it's one of the hard healing champions that I think Cuss is very, very good with. I gotta say, though, they were talking about like the Grok or Leon. I think either one is not feeling great into a triple tank on the other side. No matter what, I think either of them would just get overwhelmed by the aggression that the Knights are going to have. We saw how aggressive they were last game with only one tank. Strix is on the board now, and I think he's the main worry, but I don't know how much Leon's going to be able to deal with it. Very early stealth by Skeppy here. Dismounts G-Bunny, but he still has the dash up. Can he find the shots?
You already see that shoulder rear back, and Ashe is coming in immediately. The power stance, forcing Skeppy all the way right back around to where his team might be able to regroup. 6% for Flashpoint, though. They've got a little bit of percentage, and they're able to open that up with Sim Salute on the Ruckus. G-Bunny coming in again on the side, forcing them all the way back, but now they're able to converge on him. Skeppy is going to make sure that he goes down without much of a fighting chance.
Very big disconnect from Knights there. They had everybody on Flashpoint jammed into a corner. Flashpoint had 0 map control, and then they fed them 2 kills. We'll have to see how they want to retake this. Very low in main, backs up from the Strix. Strix still trying to control this right lane. Ricotta gets good arrows, gets topped off by Furia. Backing up, and now Knights are surrounding. If they can find a target and collapse on them, this could be a good start to this for them.
It is G-Bunny once again all the way in the back. The shoulder rears back, and now he's already applying pressure to another target, but he goes down once again, despite jumping into the bag like that. Getting a little bit too eager once again. Prosper locked on a 1v1 with Ricotta, but the rest of Flashpoint are coming back around to try and help him. Overtime is available with a flashbang up and Inflame coming up soon, and you already have it. Simsalute goes down once again, and you have 24% for the Pittsburgh Knights with an Inflame that actually gets used to make sure they can clean up what is still available for them.
Knights are playing like it's late game when it's early game. Prosper, it took him about an hour to look down to shoot on the floor and spray, but he did manage to get it done. Pushing up on the right side, both tanks locking them out, and again, I think Knights are just being a little dark. Now they're playing behind the shield. This is the kind of slow aggression that they need to have if they want to be able to push them out. Good lad is going to lock that down, though. Khan is not easy to burn, especially for tank damage. We'll see where they want to approach from. Ricotta does find Skeppy, and that's going to definitely sign the go for Knights to be able to pressure and finally have the aggression they've been wanting to have all game.
And you already see that Flash Pointer backing up in kind, but big game means big damage coming out for Ricotta, and already the Inara is extremely low. Simsalou on the side once again on this ruckus, trying to wreak havoc. He's pretty much just running in there, doing what he can with a minute 40 still available. G-Bunny dashes in, already on top of Storm. Avatar once again might be getting a little bit too aggressive. Nobody's able to really follow up. Simsalou does take care of Skeppy. Ricotta gets rid of Legacy, but still maybe too aggressive. How do you try and slow it down, Chris?
Well, not even just slowing it down, but at least going for the same target, right? Yeah,
right.
Simsalou won that 1v1 with Skeppy, but look at where they were positioned, right? Simsalou goes one more dash in. He can also shoot Storm Avatar. Then they turn and fight Skeppy. Think about how the Knights played map 1. Ruckus and Maeve moving together, diving on the same target. That's what was winning Knights the fight. Not just the fact that they were aggressive. They were getting aggressive onto the same things. Ricotta fighting on the side. Try to burn down Legacy, assuming the wall is going to come out, and it does, which means Inara's kind of low on cooldowns. If Simsi can get re-healed, Good Lad's aggression stops that. They can still get aggressive, and they find Storm Avatar in the back.
There's a convergence you were talking about, but Skeppy already with 1, with 2, not a potential 3rd, but once again, his friend Good Lad is able to make sure that he cleans that up, and they also take care of Cuss. They pretty much have gotten them on a team wipe. They've gotten Pittsburgh Knights on the back foot. They have 5 ultimates that are and available for Flashpoint, and also for PK, making 10 ultimates total throughout the game. They've got 35 seconds left to be able to try and push it.
I wouldn't be shocked to see some come out here. As always, if you use ultimates and still lose, there's no way you can lose the game. You have plenty of time to eco. Bunny, very aggressive, shields in front. Inara's going to body block him. They do force out the Inflame, and now the rest of his team is with them. Bunny's distracting the Inara from spamming, so he does get stunned, but look how far back they've split Flashpoint.
The Illusory Rift keeping everyone healed back up. I mean, Zarini got chucked for half his health, but he's literally already back to full thanks to that Ying ultimate. Once again, Storm Avatar and Possible Latch are forced all the way back. Ricotta, though, ends up getting picked off. That is absolutely pivotal for them to be able to keep the hold that they have on this payload.
Aggression from Prosper. Actually, Bunny goes in the way in the back, catches Storm Avatar. Prosper does get the trade. Spawner advantage means that's not a bad decision from the Knights. Both tanks now on the side. They need to contest the payload, but Good Lad goes down. His first death on the board, and I don't think Flashpoint are going to be able to retouch, and they can't. 1-1 going into this next fight. Illusory Rift used by the Knights. They're going to have to spend these ultimates if they want to keep up this aggressive pace that they have. They really can't do this without this kind of resources.
Right, and I agree with what you were saying before, man. I mean, they've got to find a way to come to a decision on something, because you see these fights are breaking out. They've got triple front line, but they're breaking out all over the place. It's down to 1-1 now, but literally at what? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out a way how to phrase this. I mean, you're even right now.
Yeah.
Slash Lives are looking too good with the triple front line composition. What do you do? The whole point is that you're trying to win early.
You have to get on the same targets. Someone has to
Okay.
spot them. Someone who can get away with being in main. Probably Zarini. Have Zarini spot your targets. Have Bunny and Simsalou wait on the side. They're both so mobile. They can go in. Bunny having a auto buy with 4 items already, all at level 1. But I think that makes sense. You need resilience. You need illuminate. He's going to buy up as time goes on. Prosper finds Bunny. He has the dash. Bunny has the shoulder mash.
Here we go.
No one else is with him right now. Simsalou came in but got immediately melted.
The Hexafire is there, so is the Certain Dominance, but the Overpower, man, they actually take care of that. They try to do what they could, but Zarini, once again, taking care of the Legacy. 18% for Pittsburgh Knights, and they have the flashbang that goes out, but hits the shield, falls flat, and therefore none of them are actually blinded. You've got 18% for Flashpoint. They're now able to touch the point and steadily grow and build that percentage. You have the Seismic Crash as well, and the Inflame almost back up, but Illusory Rift, Dome Shield, it's a matter of what you want to use.
Here's the thing here. Knights are going so aggressive, they're playing out of the sightline of everybody else. They're basically taking a 2v5 and then losing and going, all right, guys, we'll just push again next time.
Yeah.
They need to find a way to time themselves better. Illusory Rift comes in to keep their team alive, but it's just a trade right now. Inflame gets forced out, and Bunny won't be able to chase down Storm Avatar.
G-Bunny's literally all the way in the back. Once again, they take care of him. They use that Inflame to be able to make sure that Storm Avatar can live, that he can be able to be peeled. Seismic Crash directly up onto Zarini, 63% to 51. That is absolutely phenomenal for Flashpoint to be able to not only find their way in, but to make sure that they can still keep and hold this momentum that they have already.
Thanks for Logic backing up. Simsalou is going to touch the point, not making it just in time. Wrecker burns through the emitter. He goes down right away. Flashpoint in a good position here. I think Knights need to sync up just a little bit more. I can't believe that they're so separated. Yes, Simsalou and G-Bunny got aggressive at the same time, but A, it was in different locations, and B, they line of sighted the rest of their team. No one else could help them whatsoever. Prosper on a rampage in the backline, burns down 2 more. Going to be a stalemate here while they wait for the respawns, but they need to back up. They need to give a little bit of ground, so these tanks have to get overly aggressive to get into the backline of Flashpoint.
On a 16 streak. for the Leon. Once again, you've got Enlightenment, you've got Overpower, you've got Flashbang already ready, and these ultimates are building quickly for Flashpoint. Pittsburgh Knights can't really say the same for them. The minute 40 still available, Flashbang goes out, once again goes wide, does not find its target. Once again, Prosper on Zerini, they're able to blow him up. Now they swap targets to G-Buddy, but once again, they're actually in the back line. He's just going to be taken care of. There's too much damage coming out on the side of Flashpoint for it to remain relevant for PK.
There's any team that's going to know how to play against overly aggressive triple tank, it's going to be the league that has like a 99-point-something% win rate on triple tank. Flashpoint will know how to beat this draft. You can't play it standard. You have to adapt it. You're never going to get on the upper hand any other way. What they have to do, at least threaten the aggression, bait out the defensive cooldowns, right? G-Bunny pushed on the back of Prosper. Think about that last mid, the way it started. He pushed back onto Prosper. Prosper dashed back. All Bunny had to do was not dash in. Prosper gave up all that ground. They have triple tank they can surround, and then when Flashpoint wants to get aggressive again, that's when you recommit. That's when you have to go for the throat. That's when they're giving you the opportunity. If they're playing this defensive around a Khan, a Strix, a Leon, they're just waiting for you to come in. That's the strength of double backline, countering that level of aggression, and it's just what the Knights are playing straight into.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be a little bit of a pause here, but once again, 3-1 for Flashpoint already. I mean, Knights have to figure out something. They're 1-7 on Sims. I mean, 1-9 on G-Buddy. They have to make sure that they can use this triple frontline composition to try and close this game out. Or, well, not even close it out. They aren't close enough to do that. They need to find their footing is what I should be saying.
Yeah, and I don't know. You can tell, like, even just looking at the slash lines, you can see the problem. It's their just overzealousness.
Right.
They're trying to make something happen that is not there. Even in Iota. You can't really catch the Strix this early until you have Cauterize, until you have more Illuminate. Bunny had to go with the Rainbow buy, and it wasn't enough early because that Caut 1 isn't going to out damage the Furia heals. The Illuminate 1 is not going to be enough for you to be able to chase him down. So again, they have to find their own opportunity. They have to let them come into them, threaten the aggression, and when they inevitably get to the point where they have to push, that's when they can pounce.
Exactly, and they have to be able to utilize that composition literally to the utmost of its ability. I mean, you were mentioning it before. It can be a bit of a problem when you're having this triple front line perspective. Once again, it is a matter of how they need to approach it. They need to change something quickly. Because even Zerini, I didn't even notice that. 1-6 on him, 6-5 on Ricotta.
I don't think the Zerini thing's a big problem because what we're seeing is Simsaloo dies, Bunny dies, and then Zerini's just like, well, now I stand on point.
Right.
This is my life. And then he dies inevitably because it's better to die on point than to die running away, deny that extra cap time. That's kind of what's been happening more than anything. And we are back into the game. Flashpoint. Even mid right now, they have early control. I just want to see Knights play a little bit slower.
They are, and it seems like that's at least what they're trying to go for. They're not being as aggressive as they were before until I saw G-Buddy just immediately charge in. But now, look at that. They're actually able to focus on Legacy, but still, Zerini is being taken care of. They use the Illusory Rift to make sure that they keep that healing up, keep everyone as alive as they possibly can. But 36% for Flashpoint already, man. I mean, they are looking extremely good. Storm Avatar uses the Inflame all the way in the back line. They actually use the Overpower as well, but it actually goes wide. 66% for Flashpoint, steadily climbing. PK are now on the point at 31%. With that comeback mechanic, they have to find a way to get back onto the point quickly because look at the percentage. It is climbing. We are at 58 to 66, and it is not stopping going up.
Now Bunnies might be getting surrounded here by Prosper and Goodlad. He does go down, but he bought so much time. Legacy trying to go into the point, but there's so much damage. Now Goodlad's going to have to more or less feed for it. Simsaloo's so low in the back, but he manages to get away.
They use the Dome Shield as well. They just drop it directly on the point. Who else can touch? Storm Avatar goes in, but it's actually just going to be taken care of. The alignment as well, but Simsaloo gets healed right back up. They PO for Cuss, and he's still going to be alive. A double kill for Zerini. Nice disengaged bolt coming out from Ricotta to make sure they actually keep that pressure going. Goodlad is now one of the only ones remaining, and now the Anar has been dismounted, but still Goodlad was able to touch. The shield goes up, but still a seismic crash comes down. Stuns all around, but still they are holding on to this point fight. They're looking at Legacy. Wall goes up, but he still is taken care of. 3-2 for Pittsburgh Knights.
Knights finally get the cap there, and again, that slower play is all they needed. Yeah, they gave up some cap time, but that's kind of the price you're going to have to pay. You burn Legacy from complete safety, force them in, and then you want to go in. Exactly what the Knights did. They did a horizontal dash instead of a dash straight into the back line, just for rotation purposes. I think it threw Flashpoint off. Legacy now alone on the side. Let's see how the Knights want to end up fighting this. This is where they kind of have to force the aggression. Kind of going in a little bit early, disengaged to knock back Prosper, but Now it's just Legacy trying to hold them off on this corner, and it's a lot of damage around there. I'm not sure how long that Anar can stay.
Neither can I. I mean, Simpsulu, G-Bunny, all of them around on the side. Got overpower directly onto him, but you've got a minute and 50 seconds left. They're pushing him all the way back. The shield actually ends up getting taken down by Zarini. And now G-Bunny, the rest of them are all backing up. A minute and 40 seconds left, still available up and on the clock. Prosper Logic actually gets hit, gets taken low, but gets healed right back up by Furia. Get disengaged pull. They're already firing on him. 140 health left, but he's going to be able to still get out of that situation with G-Bunny on the side applying pressure.
Actually, looks like a little bit of a flank on the far right side. Zarini goes down in main, but Simpsulu's in the back. Furia heals, though, not enough to deal with.
Oh.
Ricotta gets a kill, but Simpsulu forces out the Inflame. Skeppy gun is a lot of damage out of the picture, but there's nothing else the tanks can really do. There's just too much healing for them to outdamage.
Ricotta's still there, rolls in, and still gets taken out. A minute and 5 seconds left on the clock for PK to be able to flip this around, try and tie it up, make it even, or even still. They got the next round still. It's just a matter of how, or really, I should say, what they can do to try and close this round out.
Simpsulu's in a great position here. It got seen, I think. He's mounting a little bit too forward. He has perfect vision here. He doesn't need to go in. If anything, let his team go in, take some damage, back up. But Bunny, I don't like that they're going on both sides. They're peeling back because of that. And now Simpsulu's flank was completely ineffective. Bunny's going to wait to reheal out of combat more than likely. Maybe Cuss will pull back for him, but I don't even think he really needs to. Ricotta very low as well. Could go in for something. Legacy gets marked by Big Game, uses the Earthen Guard, just buying more time. People get low and back up. Knights need to find something that they can do all together. They're not going to be able to convert this payload.
Flashbang goes out. Once again, actually finally hit onto G-Bunny now, but still, no ground has pretty much been given up. The shoulder bash will go in. Zarini's already down. They're already in the backline, putting on so much pressure, but still, they're trying to find their opening. They got the kill on the Skeppy, but Simpsulu goes down, so does G-Bunny. They're already extremely low. 2 seconds remaining, and that's it. Flashboy actually managed to defend, but once again, 3-2, since it was their defense. You cannot win the game off of a defense if you're already at 3 points.
Good Lads on a massive streak, and the Knights do have every ultimate coming up. Flashpoint have most of them on their own side as well. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about how the Knights are trying to play this. I think they made a small misplay on that conversion, for sure. I don't think they should have split on both sides. Simpsulu had perfect flank positioning, and they kind of just gave it away. There's really no reason for Bunny to try to flank at the same time. And you can tell, those are the two that are struggling for sure. 1-11 on Simsi, 3-12 on Bunny. Both of them near the bottom of the damage chart. Simsi only 10k above the Furia. They just need to do what they did on that last mid. It should work again, but I'm kind of worried now that they have Master Riding. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little bit concerned about what that Master Riding is going to do to their heads. Because sometimes when you're mounting fast, you think you can get away with a lot more than you should be able to.
And that's exactly true. They still got their ultimates available, though, and ready. Zarini gets so much damage, though. Excuse me, once again, if he's still trying to be able to fight back. 18% for Flashboy. Docho gets dropped directly on the Legacy, but look at how low Zarini already is. They have to be able to heal. They usually lose Re-Rift. They use the Hexafire all the way in the back line. They use the Assert Dominance as well. The ultimates are flying through one after the other. So are the bodies. Prosper, Skeppy, Legacy, all of them down. Storm Avatar also done. 55% and a half fast cap available. You are going to be able to capture this point with such an aggressive zone. Look at G-Bunny all the way up in the front.
That's perfect because they have half comeback, so there's no reason not to be pushing that aggressively. Bunny goes down, but not a chance left for Flashpoint to recontest the point. 3-3. If they convert this payload, the game is over. If they defend, they go to one more final point fight. Ricotta gets knocked very low by Prosper Logic. And Goldbat's having a hell of a game. He's still only 1 death. Overpower connects. It was just to start this snowball off, but Knights are so far away. I don't even know if they're going to get a follow-up kill. Bunny was still on his mount until a second ago.
Neither do I. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left, and PK already have to back up. G-Bunny is being extremely low. Shoulder bash out, wall goes up. Nice wall to be able to combo that enlightenment that Leon was able to put out, that Prosper was able to do, because he's able to finish off that little bit of health that he had left. But once again, we're trading 2 for 2, guys, and that's going to be a chance for PK to actually push forward, unless Simpsulu goes down, which he just did.
Good Lad in the back cleans up Simpsulu, who dove into the back line. Bunny's back, but Bunny should just wait for his team. He doesn't want to get that aggressive when his team is still kind of on the respawn. Good Lad disengaging because of Ricotta's angle. Ricotta, great flank, takes out Legacy, but Cuss goes down. I'm not even sure where he was. I think he was by the point, and Prosper just flying through this little corner here.
Yeah, exactly, and here we go. History repeats itself. He's going to go right back around on the side, but Simpsulu is able to respond in kind. Once again, they have so many records up on Flashpoint's side. It's going to be extremely difficult for him to be able to continue pushing forward. Backs all the way up. Simpsulu, the god on the ruckus.
He needs to get passive heal. He denied himself passive. He hugged the wall. He would have gotten it way sooner, but he wanted to cross the sight line. Let's see, Money, no shield right now, has to use Barrack shield, but wants to get aggressive instead. Goodlad kind of low, getting tagged up. How Money might have a good aggressive position up here. No ultimates up for Knights, except for the scout that was just used, which denies the value from the invisibility. Skeppy's so low, and Goodlad actually goes down.
They actually have to use a seismic crash, but look at how already low Legacy is. They're keeping on top of him. They're keeping as much damage spread out as possible. The Hex and Fire, they want to be able to bring out all the big guns, and big guns they have brought, as well as a second game win for the Pittsburgh Knights.
Adaptation finally coming in for the Knights. They realized what was going wrong. Just play it a little bit slower. You don't play into the double back line like that, and that has to kind of be what keeps happening against Flashpoint. They're a team that I think I barely ever see them not run double back line. Ascension Peak was kind of out there for me. A little weird, and it didn't even end up going that well for them. So if they can adapt that play and understand what the off-tanks can and can't do against that composition, this is a good look for the Knights.
Right, exactly. And that's going to have to be how they take this win, once again, 2-0, and try and convert that into more and more momentum for them. I mean, once again, they only have one more game in as they have to win. Flashpoint have to change something.
Yeah, and Flashpoint, it's a heartbreaker for them for sure. They need to find something. I mean, if they've been competing for so long, I'm sure they have the gall to be able to, you know, get it all back together. But it's a hard road to climb, especially when you're that close to upsetting this team in the PPL that teams are saying are, you know, on this huge upswing from before.
Well, I mean, once again, 2-0 for the Pittsburgh Knights. Shattered Desert out of the way. Right after this break will be what could be the Knights' last game.
Well, it's close, but this time it's the Knights who come out on top. Flashpoint, something about Shattered Desert keeps them in these games, but a little bit more consistency from the Knights at the end of the day are able to grab them that win. The frontline play, Blue, honestly, I don't think it can be understated how good Goodlad has been playing throughout this set. A massive game from him on the con, and you'll see in a moment in the stats. Simsalu, a bad game on the Ruckus, but something just flipped there towards the end, a little bit more concise team play maybe from the Knights pushes them over the end.
Dawson, honestly, I can't even tell you what happened. I would say that the triple tank is a better sustain once, you know, the cauterizers come online late, but that wasn't the case. I mean, G-Bunny, Simsalu, they were getting
this is
thrown in a box.
Yeah, this is another one of those games, I think, where you look at stats top to bottom and you're saying, you know, one team probably won when they didn't. Prosper Logic at 19-4-17, Skeppy 12-8-15, 12-2-21 on Goodlad. And everyone else, the only positive member of the Knights is Ricotta at 10-7-7.
4-12, 5-14, 6-10. I mean, this was their game. Flashpoint had this 3-1, I think it was.
Yeah.
At its highest peak.
Yeah.
I think ultimately they just had a misplay, maybe two. It could have just came down to one. One misplay towards the end, and it all goes downhill in that last round when it was 3-3. They made a couple mistakes in the 2 rounds before that.
Right.
Plus, you know, Knights have comeback mechanic. They do have the better composition for the capture with triple tank, so they got 3 big, you know, meat bullet eaters just sitting there on point. But
I mean, maybe that's, you know, I think that's kind of the triple tank slash lines, maybe. I mean, you can afford to soak up more damage. It's easier to have top damage if you're going against a team with triple tank. So, I mean, damage numbers maybe a little lopsided traditionally in a team with more damage dealers going against a team with more health. You can soak up more of that damage.
Yeah, they should have more damage, not
Right.
a million more kills
Yeah, I
and
guess
still
that's
lose
true.
the
I
game.
know.
I mean,
I don't know. I think when it comes down to it, it's these small moments where it's very contested. It's very back and forth. Flashpoint might, win the initial engagement, but then the Knights are able to respawn. They had fast cap for a couple of those points as well. So, when you're in that position, when you're down, if you're the Knights, Flashpoint might have to win 2 fights to gain control of that mid, and then the Knights can just win 1, and fast cap does the rest. Shattered Desert, apparently a very strong map for Flashpoint. They're going to have to bring it here. Pittsburgh Knights just needing 1 more map to move on to the quarterfinals, send Flashpoint home. Flashpoint are going to have to win 3 straight. And they're going to take us to Ice Mines.
yeah. Okay, it's starting to process in my mind now. A couple dismount misses. Maybe that was it. That game's a perfect example of why it's not about kills. It's about the objective.
We saw that with, Renegades earlier in the week, where in a long set, they somehow lose despite having...
against all business.
Yeah, they have
yeah.
incredible score lines. You're thinking there's no way you lose this one. Somehow they drop it. I mean, objective time is really the stat I think you have to look at in those scenarios, and the Knights just had a little bit more of it. Now you're looking at Flashpoint trying to fight back from 2 down.
They need the reverse sweep. This is desperation time, baby. This is when the cheese.
So do you
people would say
go like
comes.
Furia or Grover and then add a Grok in there? I mean,
No, you don't
Ice Mines, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, Ice Mines. This is the map, baby. This is the map.
That is tough, though, because we can say, you need to pivot your draft, do this and that, but you look at what they had in the last game, and they were competitive until the very end against the Knights, so it's not like they outdrafted them, or it's not like they got outdrafted or anything like that. It's just
Look,
the
being in
small
those
little
rooms, it's very hard, man. In the moment, you
Absolutely.
have to draft. I mean, look, they're on the clock. We're not. We could sit here and tittle-tattle the entire time.
Right.
People at home can do the same
Right.
thing. They'll go online and say,
Lots to
why'd you
consider.
draft this? And
Yeah.
it's just like, yo,
It's easy to kind of,
put the
sit
pressure
back
on
and see
yourself
what they're
that
doing.
they have.
Right. They gotta draft themselves. And again, I seriously think Flashpoint have adapted into these cross-play games very, very well. I think that their meta has changed. I think they've drafted themselves in positions to win, but haven't quite been able to do so against the Knights just yet. Knights take away the victor. Atlas Makoa seems to be kind of the new standard when Flashpoint are playing against
Are they
going to
ban Strix? That's the question.
It's going to be the Khan. So for that is a good lad centric ban there. Get him off of something that he's very comfortable with. So now Flashpoint are stuck in a situation where do we first pick something, a smaller off tank pool for good lad? Do we just make sure we lock something up for him that he's comfortable on? Or Strix is something you have to look at. Willow sometimes played heavily on this map. I think that Simsaloo can play it. I know he doesn't like to play it because it feels too good at times, but it looked like they're going to pivot and grab the Ash for good lad.
This might be for good lad.
Yeah, you're right.
Warm up
Might be.
and
Could be
follow me
Legacy
in.
as well.
Oh, but I don't know. With the rest of the tanks up, it would have to go to good lad. Con out of the equation, I wouldn't see a triple tank coming from Flashpoint either because that would go to Skeppy.
Knights are going to pick Terminus this game. I'm feeling it. Zerini is the OG Ice Mines Terminus man in this meta. Just kidding. That's probably not going to happen. Definitely not now that Barrick is getting locked in. Strix maybe to follow that up. Ricotta, they're going to roll the dice one more time, Flashpoint, and Strix is going to go the way of the Knights.
I don't know. They kind of shut down triple tank for Flashpoint. They kind of shut down the Strix by taking it as well. This is tough, man. They're going
With the Grover.
Grover's a good pick on Ice Mines, but actually, never mind. I was going to say Grover hasn't been getting a lot of wins this week, but Flashpoint's one of the ones that has been getting the only wins with Grover.
Yeah, they've been pairing it, right?
Willow's a good choice as well.
agree.
Normally, you would say, can't play Willow against a PC team as a console team, but that would go to Skeppy. He's on keyboard, so I have some confidence in him playing the Willow. I don't know, man. Vivian is still up as well.
I think this Willow is kind of a double. I mentioned Simpsy very good on the Willow, so I think you take it
will
away from
fight to
him,
protect
pick
the
it for yourself
sanctity of the
because
wild.
she is in such a strong spot right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Sims is not doing so hot, even in the win with Ruckus. So if they take Willow...
Yeah, but that
he
Maeve
can't get
game
it.
to start off this set, he popped off.
But this is Ice Mines. He could get the pip.
That's true. I mean, you're right. It's another one of those scenarios where I think you can only pick out so much against Simsua.
Unless they take the pip and they give Willow to Prosper, who can play it, but
You're saying they're going to go pip Willow? I guess they could.
But he'd be on the... that's a lot of blast.
That's a lot of blaster. I think maybe it has some merit,
But it would
I don't know
force
if
you to go
Flashpoint are
blast
gonna go
and
there.
resilience.
That's true.
Because of Evil Mojo, Seismic Crash, and a Sertanis.
That is truly the spiciest timeline, and I'm not sure I'm bought into it just yet. But yeah, it's in the cards. I think the Knights, maybe at this point, since Flashpoint have their front lines locked in, they could probably afford to. I guess at this point, they only need to. Come on! Give it to me. I said never mind, but I'm going to un-never mind that never mind. So never mind squared. Yeah. Sometimes I am just too good. And now is one of those times. I assume that Serini give Barrack over to G-Bunny. Frontline control for the Knights. Strix as well. You mentioned the Vivian. We see the Grover.
Do not rest.
One more draft here for Flashpoint. Potentially, if they're not able to take this, they're going to put their money on Vivian.
See, with Vivian up, it's kind of like Grover, Io, take one or the other, pick both of them,
Whoa.
or take Vivian.
Blake was just complaining that we haven't seen Dredge this entire week.
If Dredge gets picked, that means Shaolin is the only champion to not be picked.
They
I
are
think, off the top
hovering
of my
this.
head.
They are hovering this. They're thinking about it.
Dredge into Vivian.
No!
Is,
Oh, we're sad about it.
no Kraken.
We're sad about it. It hasn't been locked in yet. Now it has, so it is going to be the Bomb King to round out.
Be happy you got
Cincy.
Terminus at
Grabs
least.
the BK. You're right. We got the Terminus, so I'm at least happy about that. All right, 5 locked in for both sides. Blue.
stingy.
Flashpoint need to win 3 straight. Do they have a draft that can get it done on Ice Mines?
You know how to win 3 straight games? Start off by winning 1.
That's right.
Okay, I've picked Knights the first 2 games they've won. So let me give my mojo to the console boys. Everybody at home.
Are you playing Legacy in attack position?
Legacy in attack position.
He says Legacy in attack position. They need it right now unless they don't want to go home. Unless they do want to go home. Either way, casters, take it away.
Perfect work by you, Dan. Yeah, throw that card at the camera. That's what I like to see. Legacy, you're going to have to try and take this one home for the boys. But once again, Bomb King, Terminus, Maldamba, Strix, Barrack. I mean, the Zarini God, dude. On the term, I mean, it's hard for me to argue against it.
Yeah, joke's on you, Dave. My Knights deck has no pathetic cards. They should have a pretty good draft. I think Terminus BK is going to be very, very good at forcing out the inside cabin area. A lot of pressure they can't pull off there. It is a double backline kind of again on the other side. Willow, yeah, she's a blaster, but what do you do with Willow? You sit in the back, you spam. Very similar style of play for sure from her. Decimation, that's what I like to see from a Terminus for sure. I think that is the meta. I'm positive that is the meta Terminus card. Probably chained with, I'm assuming, Siphon gives you Blast back, Necromantic Might 5, Blast gives you heals. What you'd expect to see from a Terminus as someone who has more Terminus time than any other human should have. I think me and Zarini combined probably outweigh the rest of the Paladin scene. But we'll have to see how he can play it. We know he is the one in this scene who can. No dismount supports on either side, so both teams are allowed to get aggressive very early. So they can get away with it. Great wall actually at the start. Might get Zarini out immediately.
Yeah, actually really, really good. The Siphon goes up, but he's still alive. He's going to be able to live back out just a little bit longer, and he will. Oof. A breath of fresh air for Zarini. He is still in this fight and still kicking despite a very, very amazing wall from Legacy right there. The blast actually comes out once again, gives him a little bit of that charge back as well. Eats all of the seedlings. I see you giving the approving nod, Kresnik. That's what I like to see. And already Zarini with plenty of charges in the bank. 45% for him though, and PK have still yet to touch really.
They lost the other side of the map. They're going to need to find a kill pretty quickly here. Looks like they're shoving in on the side. Dash out from Good Lad, but control regains slightly for the Pittsburgh Knights. No ultimates are even close. That is not a thought in anybody's head here. We need to find something early. Terminus able to shadow fall over the wall onto the point. Full Siphon, so it's a lot of time you can buy, but it's so hard to live in the face of a Willow.
It is indeed, and with the Nara being kept up so healthy, it is extremely hard for the PK team to be able to try and keep themselves afloat during this very, very first mid fight on Ice Mines. Good kills for them. and 99% already into a point conversion for Flashpoint.
We'll have to see how forward Flashpoint can take this. Knights, I think their composition will be okay scaling into the late game. No shield on Terminus, while still having some sustain will be pretty good. It's knocked in, using a decent amount of Siphon here, following up with some good damage and good lab. And Spayfly coming out. No one to counter it on the Knights unless he goes into Ricotta's sightline.
Yeah, already he's going to have to back up, though. Eating a lot of damage, throws out the Calamity Burst, able to hit, but once again, healing might be a little bit too much for him. G-Bunny's all the way on the side with the Barret. The Whirlwind comes out just to make sure they can actually continue to capitalize on that. But PK are responding in time by pushing up through main, trying to keep the damage up on Legacy, but it's a little bit too much. It's almost impossible. The Dresser goes out. They get rid of Storm Avatar. Good lad is still there, but the block from Zerini might be enough to kill him, and it is. He's going to be able to put out that Siphon, continue to eat those charges, and Skeppy might actually be next to the menu. Even if he isn't, this is a good start for PK.
Great turnaround from the Knights, and aspiring Terminus mains everywhere. All four of you. Watch the way that Zerini manages his Siphon. There's a lot of different things you can do where you... There's something he did in the very first mid where he dropped it with a little bit left. Sometimes if you hold it for a long time and then drop it, everyone's just like, oh, he has no more. Because he saved one more activation on it, he was able to get full charges and get away. That's what kept him alive in that first fight. His management is fantastic so far. Bunny on a very deep flank. His team needs to move quickly or he's going to melt down, and he does. They can't even move fast enough.
A minute, 10 seconds still remaining as well for Flashpoint to be able to make it back with G-Bunny going down first. That's going to be a pretty big problem. The lad charges directly in. He's got the Assert Dominance, but he's more than likely not going to end up using it. They already dropped the ceilings. He's there. Sereni's still backing up with that Siphon up, giving it a chance to charge right back up. And Ricotta, though, eating a lot of damage. He is going to go down. Nice stun, though. They are going to be able to take advantage of Good Lad being out of position, also extremely low health. Skeppy goes down to a good couple Calamity Bursts, and they're going to be able to keep applying that pressure. Zerini still is going to go down, but Simpson with a good couple bombs, as well as G-Bunny with the presence of mind to be able to continue pushing with the rest of his team, are going to be able to get that kill.
Simpson actually forces out the Earthen Guard just with a Poppy Bomb, so Legacy now is going to get staggered pretty hard. No way Legacy can kill himself unless he goes very far, and they definitely could have staggered that a little bit longer, but they just wanted to get forward in zone. That was the higher priority for them here for sure. Simpson now on this corner. AoE means you can't hide. Finds the sensor drone, takes it down, so now he can hide in response. Zerini's back, 10 seconds left. They're going to need to put out a lot of damage if they want to stop Flashpoint from even having a chance to touch.
Already 5 seconds remaining. Good last shoulder bash just his way all around the side. They got the Assert Dominance. We saw it before. He's already setting up, and they're able to push, or well, I should say not push, excuse me, defend successfully PKR.
Also, cool little thing about Terminus as well, your charges don't go away between rounds. So Zerini got 4 charges, said they're not going to touch, didn't shoot it, just held on to them, and now as soon as this round starts, he's going to have 1750 in the pocket damage to fire at somebody. Knights, a lot of ultimates up. Only Flashbang missing, and I would say that's definitely the least impactful of all the ults that they have. Simply having a great game so far. Undying, even after a really tough mid-fight. That means he's choosing his fights really well, especially considering he has 11,000 more damage than Prosper Logic.
I mean, that's a big, big story, as well as big damage coming out from Simsy right there, dude. I mean, 1-1, it's already tied 2-0 to the Pittsburgh Knights, man. I mean, they could end up closing this one out in style. That much is for sure, but it is still close. Shout outs to Flashpoint. Even if they don't end up winning this game, man, I mean, they still have been looking phenomenal. They have been playing extremely well. Do not discount them just for being a consoles.
Yeah, of course. The input method, I said this yesterday, the input method doesn't matter. It's really about how well you know the game, and I think these games have been proving it for sure. Serena getting a little bit of point time, but they don't want to commit till they have a kill. Dope Shield used defensively. Assert Dominance in the face of it, actually, but not too much coming down. Serena doesn't get the reset on his Shatterfall, so he has to res on point. Everyone gets forced out. I think Whirlwind was used as well, and Knights end up on the better end of these ultimates.
They do. They still got a King Bomb available and ready as well for Flashpoint. There's a bit of a pause right there, but once again, they have the Bomb King already available, or I should say really the King Bomb in terms of the ultimate uses right there. And I agree with that. They did come out on top of that. There were a lot of ultimates that just ended up being utilized, but at the same time, they still have the opportunity to be able to use that King Bomb and be able to pretty much clean up whatever they don't need. So they only have one ultimate still remaining for them.
I think they could actually combo the Flashbang and the King Bomb. Flashbang, I believe, is really close, so blind them so they can't shoot Simsy, let Simsy commit a little bit harder. Both teams basically have everybody up, but Flashpoint now don't have a response to what the Knights can be coming in with. Honestly, it depends a lot on how much Siphon Zerini has left, too, because that really is a timer, how long he can sustain for. Bunny managed to stop the Ashe on the backside, so that's kind of a stalemate. That's why we have to keep our eyes to mid and how aggressive they can get on the back of them having no whirlwind to keep their team alive.
Right, exactly. I mean, once again, Pittsburgh Knights already up 2-0. They're looking good. We're going to be back right into this super exciting action. We've got a flashbang. We've got a King Bomb still available, just as we were saying before. No ultimates up on Flashpoint. They're going to have the systems build up really, really soon. But 33% for him already. The King Bomb already starting, and we already have the explosion that happens. That's going to leave Prosper Logic in the dirt. After he charges, he uses them. Zarini's going to back off of the point, though. And now this gives us so much ground. Look at where Simsalou is now. And they got that kill on the Prosper. Zarini come on and slams. In this case, it already into the back line. And Pittsburgh Knights are going to be able to have 48% for him.
They did the exact combo that we said they had to do. They flashbang Prosper Logic, came in with the King Bomb. Legacy wasn't flashbang, so he got the wall off, but didn't get the block. Now dismounted. He's a good lad there in the back. Fayfly potentially coming in, but Skippy thinks, well, he doesn't have Fayfly. Looked like it should have been a Fayfly, but didn't have it. Gets spammed out in the air, and there's no chance that Flashpoint have to touch the objective. Buddy and Ricardo holding his backside. Legacy trying to shove in main, but I don't know what good this angle take is going to give them. Vivian's all the way back on the side of Good Lad.
Yeah, neither do I, but once again, payload is steadily rolling. Nothing too definitive yet, except for the fact that they do have the aggression that they are trying to put on the zone. Ricardo eating a lot of damage, though. The Siphon goes up for Zarini so that he can actually peel. He is already looking really, really low. Legacy, in this case, is looking extremely low. He's got 4 charges all the way back up, is able to burst them, puts the Siphon once again right back up, already in the dead zone. Going to step out of it and keep that Siphon up to make sure that the team behind him will not get hit.
Zarini just weaved all of his 5 shots under the shield of the Vivian. That's actually kind of crazy. I just wanted to point that out because I don't know. It was kind of hard to see right now. Aggressive from Zarini now in main. Whirlwind gets forced out. He can disengage a little bit. There's no way they can find a kill now, but he can stay alive. Siphon blocks an infinite amount of damage. Healing keeps him going, and Dread Serpent to maybe follow up and find something, but there's just too many people there to kill.
Yeah, Dead Zone gets dropped. They already used the Whirlwind as well. Ricardo is going to be on the receiving end of that death. That aggression it is that they needed to have is now going to be flipped to Pittsburgh Knights having to be forced to defend. 1 minute and 15 seconds left. You have Zarini getting the kill on the Good Lab, but that was it. That's all that was they were able to get, and they are being zoned right now.
Cuss is trying to save his KD, but he really should have jumped right there. He wasn't shot by anybody. He wouldn't have given a kill. Legacy's going to come in here and wall himself off with Skippy coming in too, but he didn't wall. Okay, I was going to say, that I would have just walled immediately and trapped Cuss in, but saved it. Gave Cuss a chance to react, you know. It's fair game. Maybe it's like a sport kind of thing, you know. Some people, you don't want to shoot a sleeping animal and run around a little bit. Legacy, very forward right now. Walking straight into Ricardo. The tanks are both on the other lane, so no one can protect them, but he manages to get away with the stealth.
Already the boost to back out. 40 seconds still remaining. You've got King Bomb, you've got Dome Shield, and you got yourself a kill with Zarini using those charges to make the most of the situation. Puts the wall down, make sure they are blocked off close enough for as long as he possibly can. Just make sure they stall him for even just more and more seconds. But still, 20 seconds left. Pittsburgh Knights have made it back, and they're already moving their way in, forcing them back. And it's a matter of what they are going to do. Well, one thing that's going to happen for sure is that Good Lad's dead.
For sure, great aggression on the side. Term and BK, I said they were going to be the pair to watch, and you can see why. They ran them down, killed both tanks. No way currently. Flashpoint to really move forward and contest this payload at all, but Cuss goes down to a flank from Vivian. The Vivian just came in from under. Nobody was paying attention. They were all 2 stacked on the right side.
They were able to pretty much burst him as quickly as they were on the point. A good flank from Prosper Logic is going to leave him dead, but still, because of that flank, they were able to defend and make sure they got the most out of those very, very last seconds with that overtime timer. But we're looking at a 2-2, folks. I mean, if this game is going to keep going back and forth like this, it is so hard to say who's going to come out on top.
For sure, and I think Flashpoint basically had the only answer they could have there at the end. It had to be a hero play from the DPSs. Both of their tanks got killed sprinting away from that fight. It was great aggression from the Knights, but maybe just too much in one lane. They had the Barrack, they had the Terminus, all focusing on the same spot. Simsalou still having an incredible game, I think, so far. Damage-wise, right above the Vivian. Barrack and Strix are right behind them, too. It's really close in general on top of the damage charts. It's going to come down to how these ultimates get used, and Flashpoint used Sentinels at the end, but I guess didn't realize that they were getting dove, so Prosper kind of just threw those away. Even charges are all pretty quickly, so they will have them back up in time, but I think it's a lot of pressure on this assert dominance and a lot of pressure on this reanimate.
3%, and now the Dome Shield gets dropped immediately, the body block as well. Oh my goodness, whoa! That Poppy Bomb to actually get him up on that bridge, to actually use that King Bomb, and it definitely paid off in dividends with G Bunny with a double kill. Ricardo with one of them. Skeppy is able to pick off Simsaloo, but still, they are able to get the zone. I was not expecting that. That would have hit me.
That's
I had
not
no idea.
easy.
It
That's
is
not easy to do. He perfectly got that Poppy Bomb, and Skeppy can't move. Strix, so much damage. Cannot move around this corner whatsoever. They don't get the dismount on Good Lad. Bunny finally does, but Good Lad has assert dominance. He wants to use it on the point, and Bunny, thankfully for them, gives it up, but now he uses the dash to go over here. He's not going to be near the objective to contest it.
90% already, and the Dread Serpent goes out to make sure that they actually can try and fear. Once again, Simsaloo all the way is back up here, despite not having a King Bomb this time, but he wants to be able to be aggressive. He throws out the bombs as much as he can, detonates them, but still, it's going to go down. G-Bunny falls through, so does Zerini, and here comes the Reds. He's going to be right back on point. The overtime is still there, but it's not worth it. I agree with that, Kresley, because he's still going to go down and be forced back out away from the point.
Oh my god, he almost survived for a really long time. As soon as he used that res, it was at the same time 3 of his teammates died, but that is such a rough res. There's no chance that the Knights can get back in and retouch this objective. Assert dominance used aggressively. Simsaloo walled off. Cusscutie caught out. Good Lad very low. If they have a Poppy, they could do it, but Simsaloo Poppy in instead of using it to peel.
Yeah, Ricardo takes care of Legacy though, so 99% to 99%, but a point capture converted already for Flashpoint. The flare at the feet. He's taking a lot of damage right now, but still being able to be healed up by that Grover a little bit too much for them to be able to try and fight back with. Zerini, Simsaloo, 2 of them finding 1 kill apiece, and you've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds left and remaining with a 3-2 score in favor of Flashpoint.
They need to charge up their ultimates for this. They can actually spend some right now if they really want to keep the snowball up. Bunny pretty aggressive there in the back onto Prosper. He's just trying to hold down main though. Legacy uses Earthing Guard very early. This could actually be a free pick from them if he doesn't have the wall up. Gets very, very low. Barely makes it out in time, and actually Zerini trades his life for it.
Yeah, 1 minute and 50 seconds left, man. I mean, Zerini, simply both of them are still down. Cuss all the way in the back. Skeppy's pretty much free firing. Ricardo takes care of Storm Avatar. Tries to slither away, and he does. Cuss is fighting for his life, but he's still going to be able to go down. Ricardo all the way behind him. He's just going to try and stealth in, try and take care of that. He's still going to be able to do so. A nice player is going to leave Skeppy still dead, but 1 minute and 30. Zerini made it back to point. They were able to stall long enough to only allow the payload to move forward just a tiny bit, but they still have plenty of time to push forward.
So he's going to hold this down with Simsaloo. The EU brothers on the Pittsburgh Knights. Definitely the pair that's going to have to lock down Flashpoint in this game. We're actually getting kind of surrounded here. Sims is going to have to give up a lot of ground, barely surviving. I'm assuming because of the heals from Cuss. A burst heal does come in, but Fayflight might catch out G-Buddy.
Fayfly is there and available. Just tossing out all of those left clicks, or at least the right triggers, I should say, as much as possible. Still firing, looking at Ricardo. Ricardo actually jumps down Zerini, G-Bunny, Simsaloo, Ricardo. All 4 of them are already done. They've got 3 ultimates up, but only 1 person's left. It's Cuss. They will be able to make it back to defend, especially with 40 seconds still available.
Look at all the ultimates. They used Fayflight and Whirlwind to try to convert that, so we'll have to see what the Knights are willing to spend here. Aggressive push. Dome Shield used up top. The Bear goes down immediately. That's a wasted ult. They're going to have to spend something else like a King Bomb.
Okay, well, the Dread Serpent is actually going to end up being used. They're focusing down right now on the Legacy. The wall goes up. Zerini is still there. He's getting forced back just little by little. And Simsaloo all the way in the back. He's going to use the King Bomb once again, but he's actually just going to end up dying as that was happening. You've got about 15 seconds left, but you still have the res available. Zerini is going to have to use it. That is no question. He's going to be able to take down Legacy despite the dead zone being dropped directly onto point, and because of that, Ricardo is able to take care of Storm Avatar. He stepped off the point, though! He stepped off the point, and because of that, oh my goodness, they actually just lost because of that.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. He just wanted to stay alive, had to stay out of the Willow spam as long as he could. Tried to take another angle. I think maybe there was just a small disconnect between leaving the point and Bunny coming back. So unfortunate for the Knights, and you know they could be a kind of emotional team. They can't let this get to them if they want to keep the set in their hands.
They cannot. 2-1 already. G-Putty laughing a little bit. I mean, they know the situation was. Zerini definitely beating himself up over that. He's really, really upset. Once again, they cannot let that get to them. A very, very small misstep ended up with Flashpoint taking that game, despite having used a resurrection, gotten 1 kill. They did extremely well. Once again, PK, they have to be able to harness this and make sure they keep forward.
Yeah, and if Flashpoint want to turn the set, this is the end. This is the momentum they need to carry on for sure. I don't know if they're gonna let Vivian through again. It seemed like there was a lot of duels that were being won on the back of the deflector shield on the Vivian that maybe giving Good Lad Con wouldn't have been as much of a big deal for them to have to deal with. So maybe a change up in the bans from the Knights, considering a change up in the bans led to them giving up the first map.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to this. I mean, once again, will the momentum for Flashpoint actually be able to do something, or will the Pittsburgh Knights just, I guess, sort of crumble? I mean, it's 2-1. There's still plenty of time to find out. We can only know that for sure right after this break.
Longing to be seen, so come and hide with me, hide with me, hide with me. Come and hide with me, hide with me, hide with me. Come moon is full, stars are bright. I called you up just to hear your voice on the machine. Nothing will be like it was, but you will always be my first choice, just as it seems. Ride with me, ride with me, ride with me. So come on.
Well, Flashpoint, they take us to Ice Mines, and they take Pittsburgh Knights to 6 points, and they grab themselves their first win in this set. Don't count Flashpoint out just yet. A little momentum now at their back, but it's back to the Pittsburgh Knights map pick. We'll have to wait a minute to see where they take us for Game 4. Blue, you finally bet for the boys, and they grab themselves a win.
Let's go, baby. One good lad on that team.
Is that the difference maker for you here?
Good lad. He created so much space, especially in that last fight. I was saying it as we were watching it on the Ash. He had the assert dominance. He dives into the back line after they win the team fight. Ice Mines, huge map to zone on because that's so hard to break a zone on Ice Mines. He pops the assert dominance right in their face. He's able to kill, I think, 2 people.
Yeah,
he ended up dying. Skeppy is able to finish off Maldamba, which is Cuss. That was beautifully played in the last round. They got a payload push the round before that. That was through and through. That was a good game from Flashpoint. I mean, good lad.
Yeah. I think it's too much almost to kind of counter out, and it's what you kind of mentioned. If they win up against Kanga, maybe this is where they start to abuse some differences. Good lad is playing some of his best paladins right now, and you kind of see that down in the trenches, longevity on the Ash, using those cooldowns properly. You know, the kit itself is relatively simple, but making sure you use your cooldowns properly, when to use the kinetic burst, shoulder bash, shield, all of that, you know, requires some skill to know properly how to use all of that. And good lad playing at the top of his game right now. And that's where a big difference is. The length that he's able to extend a lot of these fights.
Yeah,
I think is so important for Flashpoint.
Only 9. He went 9 kills, 8 deaths. That doesn't sound amazing. Only 60k damage. Doesn't sound amazing.
Right.
You know, a little of this, a little of that. His job is to create space.
Those intangibles.
That's all he needs to do. Create space. If he does that successfully, the rest of the team will strive. Going, like you said, going up against Kanga, which is what I thought would happen. The tanks would have to outplay Kanga's tanks. This match, that still has to happen,
Yeah, agreed.
but Skeppy has to outplay both Sims and Ricotta.
That's a tall task.
As well as
That's a tall
Prosper. He's
task.
there with them. He got something he's very comfortable with in the Vivian. Now, here's the question. Do you ban Vivian now? Again, because the Khan was giving you problems. Now the Vivian was giving you problems alongside the Ash. You thought you could, you know, ban him out. Thought you could take him away from triple tank. Thought you could take him away from the Khan. You give the Ash to them again. Didn't work out the first time because it was legacy. This time you give it to Good Lad. He creates so much space. Do you let them?
That's true.
Get the Khan again.
You're now it's the point where it's pivoted to the PC side, where they have to consider what they're letting Flashpoint have, because Flashpoint have basically said at this point, we're prepared to play against kind of whatever. We just don't want to deal with Makoa or Atlas. So they ban out those two. And you mentioned it. They ban out the Vivian first. I imagine a Victor soon to follow here. So Vivian, Victor back in the ban column. Flashpoint going to finish off with a Makoa. But I think that's a big win for Flashpoint. You come so close in Game 2, you lose in 7 points, and now in Game 3, win it in less than 7. You do it, you get it done in 6. I think that's got to be a big bolster to the confidence of Flashpoint. Knights now have to buckle down, get back to the performance that they had in the first couple of maps to kind of keep Flashpoint at bay, because Flashpoint wins another one here. You're going down to a decider Game 5 to stay alive in these World Championships. And that's a scary space. You know, a fluke win, you know, all of the stats can be in your favor, but a fluke win in a Game 5 doesn't matter at the end of the day. Flashpoint have to win one more, though, to get to that point. Going to Warder's Gate for the first time this week. Haven't seen it at all, and this is where the Knights want to take us.
Yeah, and this is a map that Flashpoint's been practicing. Like I said in the back, I think they've been practicing all the maps that everybody hates.
Yeah.
And they've played well on Shattered Desert. They've lost the 2 times they've played it against, you know, PK here and SSG the other day, but they played very well on both of those maps. So that could be their secret. Now, Strix being first picked, that's really good for the Knights, but Flashpoint is not going to say, oh, no, right? That happened yesterday. There was still success. They almost won the game where Strix was taken away from them. They won last game where Strix was taken away from them. I mean, Barrack Khan, pretty good. I
like them having Khan again. I mean, I think getting Legacy on something as strong as the Barrack, a great start. And then Goodlad, as much as we've talked about him after that Ice Mines game, his Khan performance, you know, is kind of even above that. The stat lines were more tangible even in his Khan games up to this point. So I think it's a good start for Flashpoint to get themselves comfortable there. Anara for the Knights, maybe a Furia for them here as well. So now the damage dealers are kind of the question that arise here. I know Leon has been pretty popular for them. Grover, a good healer for Flashpoint. Again, you have to, I think, bring up the potential for a Grok to be paired with this triple tank. If that's where they go, the Knights could be privy to that, though, and this does kind of yell a Grover 5th pick to me.
Yeah, Grover Grok or Grover Genos would work here. And I was just thinking, they took away the Furia, which is something Flashpoint's been playing a lot this week and having success. Storm Avatar's been playing it well. A couple key mistakes cost them a game or two, but you know, that can be cleaned up on the spot. Here's the thing. Triple tank on Warder's Gate against a Strix, it's not open sight lines. Yeah. There's those rooms on the side of the bounce pad portals. And then you have those walls right there on the point. Grover can go underneath the objective and also heal as well. The Grok comes out into a Ruckus, into an Anara.
Is that dangerous to play into a Willow, though, do you think, with that dead zone?
He's there for damage, man. He ain't there for healing.
No, I know, but you got a Grover on your side as well. Who deals with that Willow, Khan? I mean, that's the most consistent hit scan you're going to have to try to shoot Simsi out of the sky.
This is like...
I love the draft. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
This is an offensive line. They're running a power 0 right at you.
Blue, are you biased? We can't have bias up here on this desk. Just kidding. I love the Flashpoint draft. I think this worked for them.
It worked for him yesterday.
All day
That's
yesterday.
why I like it.
I think it works well again here. But you also kind of want Flashpoint to win. So do I. It could be a lot of fun. Game 4. Let's go.
Let's do it. We've got a double reset ultimate team composition again with the Grover, with the Grok. You have that presence on Flashpoint's side, but the Knights, man. I mean, you got the Willow. I'm really just trying to figure out. I mean, Chris, what do you think about the Willow into that composition?
Nobody deals with Faith Flame.
Right.
Grok ain't doing anything to her. Maybe Storm Avatar connects some sweet axes, but nobody else is doing much of anything against a Faith Flaming Willow. The biggest problem to me is that when teams cross that distance, right, you want to be doing it to enable your backlines to maybe get some angles, right? You're forcing them into places they don't want to be. Who are you enabling?
Right.
Like, yeah, they have to go into the open. Now our Grok can see them. Yeah. That's it. That's apparently, that's all they're really kind of gunning for. Otherwise, what are they doing? Deathballing. Who will destroy a Deathball? It's going to be Willow. That's really going to be the response. So, tough to say. Honestly, tough to say. I think Flashpoint's draft is a little mismatched. It will win if a hard Deathball is enough to beat what the Knights have. But I think the Willow and the Ruckus are just too much of an answer.
Yeah, I think that's going to definitely be a very, very big problem. Now, of course, credits to Grok, credits to Grover for having, once again, that double reset ultimate, for being able to do what they need to. And, of course, that morale boost, which I believe is something they have, it's going to be really, really hard for, them to be able to... It's going to be hard for PK in some instances, which they do. They do have the morale boost in the Grok, as is standard for this case. But Shock Pulse already rings true, and they're already putting on a lot of pressure with PK having some of the first percentages on the point already.
look, I was right. They are just going to Death Ball. This is what they're going to do. And I think this Willow is going to tear him apart. Love to see Zerini backs up, takes a lot of damage kind of early from the Grok, but it's not burst damage. It's all consistent, so Zerini knows when he can get away. Essentially, when I kind of weird angle right now there on the side. Ricotta, Skeppy just walks in. Ricotta unprotected there on the right side. Bunny gave up that ground, didn't call it. Ricotta goes down.
Yeah, 24% to 33 already for the Flashpoint, and it is steadily climbing. Once again, they have that Death Ball composition already ready to go, but it's a matter of how long can they hold on. The game goes on longer, it's going to be a lot harder for them to do something. Skeppy is already looking really low, but he has his team to actually be able to try and capitalize on that. Zerini deals with him, but no one is to the point yet. He uses the wall, great wall, as well as a good stun. Storm Avatar goes down as well. Everyone's living with so little HP, and now Ricotta's on point. He uses the flare to try and take out that Barret, but we already have the Tempest that is up and online and available for Flashpoint.
Tempest stays with the last moment. Legacy going to do a lot of damage here, burns them down, and Deathball ended up working out because Ricotta just sat in the open. That first pick enabled it. Deathball will just win when you have a number advantage, so they have to play. Knights have to play so careful about their lives. They turned around as much as they could, but a lot of people still alive, so much healing. The problem is in the late game, it's going to struggle. Two characters that are so reliant on Wrecker, two characters that are so reliant on Cauterize. It's going to fall off as time goes on. SimSlu backs up here. Going to get botted at for sure by Skeppy, but Skeppy does disengage because of the dead zone. I don't know if I like this Bunny flank. I really don't know if I like this Ruckus flank right now. Zerini's in front, but no one's there to follow up on his ultimate.
Okay, well, Prosper gets dealt with by Zerini. He is there. He has the Hexafire as well. He's not going to end up using it, but he is going to dash in, just pretty much make sure that, hey, I'm already back here. He's forcing out a lot of space and creating a lot for his team. The ceilings go out. The Vine Grip goes out as well for Storm Avatar so that he can actually escape. They have a minute and 40 seconds left. The Hexafire now ends up getting used right around that corner, but it's actually just going to get eaten up by mostly that shield. He's going to get healed right back up. He might actually go down, but he actually is able to back out. Barret is still chasing him, though. He's going to be able to get healed by Custom.
Barrick extends pretty far for this. They need to contest the payload, and SimSlu realizes that, so he disengages. They can't push into the dead zone. All they have is healing and stuff. Look at this massive stack!
Oh, man!
This is just Willow bait, SimSlu. You could have gotten a million damage there, but he backs off and lets G-Bunny die.
He's actually going to let both him and Zerini die. They're actually just pretty much just up on this high ground all the way in the back. Ricotta's able to take care of Storm Avatar, but look at where SimSlu is, and he's going to go down too.
Dude, I'm salivating. I'm salivating thinking about the amount of damage I would have just done there on Willow. SimSlu played it just a little bit too safe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I can say about that, man. I mean, that is literally just unable to really, I guess, capitalize on that situation. But once again, you've got about 45 seconds left. And once again, this Death Ball composition working out really, really well. It's a matter of how long will the game go on. That's going to be the question here, Skeppy. It's actually going to go down thanks to Ricotta. Once again, they're all moving up. Zerini is still right there. Of course, Ricotta with the sniper as well, being able to get good damage on the Storm Avatar, but nothing yet.
I mean, Skeppy goes down because they broke the Death Ball, right?
Right.
Skeppy goes alone and immediately dies to all the damage that the Knights have, which is what's worrying me more for the late game potential of this composition. Ultimate just barely connected the edge. They should kill Ricotta here, but Flashbang comes in. Stealth isn't going to save it when you're being slowed to 2 units per second, whatever it is. Seismic Crash coming in here. Zerini charges so fast, and what a great ultimate.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge for SimSlu. Look at where he's standing. He's literally up above the rest of them and firing straight down at the people on the ground. It's so hard for them to be able to live through this. He's literally just running at them. He's gotten several kills off of that alone.
Dude, I told you, you can't group up against a Willow. Again, they all hug each other, hoping that the storm will pass. And unfortunately for them, SimSlu, Hurricane SimSlu, is not done rampaging. 1-1. And again, I'm worried so much about the late game of this Flashpoint composition.
Right.
They're gonna struggle so much against High Record. They're gonna struggle when SimSlu understands how aggressive he's gonna be able to get. And this is that Tempest from, oh no, so this is a little bit earlier than that. Just a ton of damage coming out from Prosper to wipe everybody on the Knights after a fantastic Tempest earlier to keep his team alive.
Right, exactly. I mean, once again, man, Flashpoint are looking great despite all of the stuff that is happening with PK right now. I mean, they've got a minute. They have plenty of time to be able to really try and figure out what they need to do. I mean, once again, once this game goes on longer, that scaling is going to hit hard. It's going to hit Prosper on the Grok, and it's going to hit Storm Avatar for sure. For sure, and the record's going to hurt Legacy and everyone else too. Yep. Looks like an different contest angle this time. Shock Pulse doesn't do much of anything, but this Fae Flight should open up a lot of space for the Knights. It should. Show them no mercy. We already see that G-Bunny. The rest of them are over here. This is why you can't group up against a Willow. Ricotta with a double. SimSlu with another 39% for Flashpoint. And this is the problem that you run into. You have Willow tearing it up with a triple kill and flanking around, providing so much damage spread out among so many different targets. targets.
I know we're comparing esports to real sports, but you really don't need to have a team huddle in those kind of situations. It's definitely punishing you in the end of the game. Simpsulu locking this down. Great pressure from Bunny on the left side, and Skeppy's going to get forced out by Zarini.
That's going to be extremely hard. G-Bunny all the way up on the top. He actually I think he just 1v2'd right there with a double kill already. Just on the ruckus alone, able to take care of Prosper, able to take care of Goodlad. Now the Knights are waking up. Another double kill, 96% for the Pittsburgh Knights. G-Bunny as well against Skeppy. I mean, he was able to just 1v2 in that situation, take advantage of it, and then capture the point because of it.
You know why Bunny can win that fight? There's no burst damage on the other team.
Right.
There's absolutely nothing. There's nothing they can do to burst down a Ruckus. Ruckus will always win that trade because of the combination of the consistent damage from the miniguns and the burst damage from the rockets. Then we have a little wall in on the side there. On top of Legacy, can they find him? Maybe, but the Tempest is going to save him on the flank.
No, the dead zone is already there. You also hear the Seismic Crash go out along with the flashbang. They are going to get rid of Zarini, but look at where Simpsulu is. He's grouping them up. He's making sure he's actually just firing straight down, and the Ricardo drops down in front, though, and it's actually going to force Simsy to drop all the way back. He has that flutter. He's going to be able to use it, but bounce his head right up on the top, so he drops right back down. Cannot escape that situation, but they've still got a minute 45 left.
Even with that flutter connecting on the ceiling, it actually would have been enough to save him in a lot of situations. Just having that extra damage reduction, which most people are running on flutter. I'm assuming he's running that at level 4 or 5 on the Willow, probably just to keep himself alive. It's pretty common. Yeah, level 5, 25% DR for 3 seconds. It's kind of monstrous, actually. They're all backing up on this side, and he's going to be kind of alone there, too. If Simpsulu can hold right here, he can actually stop a lot of aggression potential from Flashpoint.
He is. He's just going to sit right here, pretty much free fire. The overpower actually goes out, throws G-Buddy right down into the well, and he is going to go down. Ricotta actually gets flipped as well while he was up there with G-Buddy. Already a double kill for Skeppy. Zarini is right there, pretty much holding his own extremely well. The shock pulses spread between him and Cuss are going to be a lot. They're going to have to back up with a minute still available up on the clock. The Inflame is available, as long with the Fade Flight. The flashbang is building up, so is the Hexafire. The ultimates are going to be there really, really soon. It's just a matter of when they want to use it.
I feel like they kind of should have just done Fade Flight Inflame or something. Just walk all over them with that. Flashbang comes in, very aggressive from Simpsy. They know he's the one person they have to stare at. Whirlwind's keeping them alive for now. Simpsy goes down to half, and Tempest is going to chase him down.
Tempest is actually going to be able to be brought out and try and stop Simpsulu, but he is still not dead, able to be healed right back up by Cuss. But Skeppy is already on the side. Zarini actually just ends up going down. And once again, this is an extremely close match, despite all of the G-Bunny just going in. Once again, no burst damage. What are you going to be able to do against this Ruckus? He's diving in, already low health, and he is going to be able to make it. G-Bunny, Simpsulu, the two of them are going to go down together with 10 seconds left, but Cuss is going to be able to get a kill of his own.
With Simpsulu going down, that really hurts the Knights' potential to push this. They're saving the Inflame Fade Flight combo for mid. Again, something that could have probably been spent a little bit earlier. Zarini is going to get melted on this point, most likely in front of this Grok, but he actually walls off all the damage. Everybody's super stacked up over Ricotta's in a terrible place once that wall goes down.
Oh, here we go. G-Bunny's actually moving in. Simpsulu literally at his back as they're trying to fire as much as they can. It's that very, very small choke point. Skeppy's in the back line. Simpsulu actually looking a little bit low, but he turns around, knows that Skeppy is there, and takes care of business. Now we have Simpsulu that's going to flutter up to the high ground, and they're in a bad spot. This is where Simpsulu was last time. This time towards their spawn, where he was in such a good spot. Throws out the ceiling. Storm Avatar's going to go down. Ricotta being so aggressive, and he's actually going to keep using that Blast Flower, keep using that damage to find something. He has to flutter his way out, but he just collapses right on top of Legacy. Skeppy tries to follow through, but the Battle Shout's not going to be able to heal him because he's in the middle of dead zone. Overtime is available and ready with 2 minutes. Well, not 2 minutes, but 2-1 already. They're going to be able to defend.
And actually, this is great because they ended it while the Tempest was going off.
Right.
Yes, mini C9 from Zarini again. He kited off the point at just the last moment, but it's so hard to tell. Warder's Gate has a lot of weird geometry around the payload where you can easily break your line of sight. In Fast OT, you're not too broken up about that for sure. They have plenty of ultimates to make this work, and this was that push that really just absolutely destroyed Flashpoint. That very quick aggression from Simpsulu, and I think they have the ultimates to do a play like this again.
Yeah, I think they do as well. You got to be careful with compositions like these, man. I mean, I know we've been harping on it for just a little bit, but once again, it's just the fact that this is the problem with that death ball composition. You got those double reset ultimates, sure, but a good dead zone, even better cauterized when it starts coming online, is going to pose a very, very big problem for it. And you saw the problem right there with that composition. Simpsulu already knows. He's already up here. He's going to flutter, going to use the Fade Fly as well. He's going to find his opportunity. And you see G-Bunny actually all the way in the back as well. They use the Inflame at his back, uses the overpower, but not going to get caught. And they're all grouped up right there in that small room. He's going to keep firing as much as as he crash still available.
They need to use the Seismic Crash soon. Actually, great flank from Ricotta and Bunny. I think they find 2 kills, both supports
They
down,
do.
and Legacy falls as well. Great kills for the Knights.
Yeah, very, very good kills for the Knights already. Simsaloo with a double of his own, and now they're going to be able to get this zone and potentially a payload. It's going to mean a lot coming into this very last few matches. 63% to Flashpoint's only 6%. They are holding extremely well. He's got the Hexafire. He uses it right in front of a rock. Luckily, that rock is not the target, so it's going to be able to eat the damage for Flashpoint. I didn't know it was a 6v5, but at this point, it's going to still look good for the Pittsburgh Knights with the point capture.
Flashpoint Rock doing a great job at body blocking the Hexafire.
Sponsor that man. Where's his jersey at?
G-Bunny. Ricotta really aggressive up top by the Arches. Some damage in, but Prosper might get caught out here. Ghostwalk cleanses Cauterize, keeps him
Nice
alive,
wall.
but Zarini walls him in and starts the snowball for Knights.
Yeah, Ceiling actually gets thrown out. Skebby's all the way in the back. He's actually on top of Cuss. But that's the thing. Simsaloo is still available and still looking really healthy despite all of these fights. And he is just free firing. No one has really been able to stop him. He knows Storm Avatar's right there, puts it down. Vine Grip goes out. But once again, now they're just going to be able to focus attention right onto Goodlad. Throw it out. He's going to use the Assert Dominance just to make sure that he actually can stay alive. Why, I'm not too sure. But they do actually get rid of Prosper as well as the Tempest to follow up. They get the double kill. And that's going to be really good for Flashpoint.
I think they just need to peel back for Skeppy. Yep. I was at a loss for words for a second because I'm like, are they just going to keep letting Skeppy walk in behind them? How many times in a row has Cuss or Ricotta died to Skeppy just flanking? All they have to do is wait, spam them a little bit. Cuss goes, Skeppy's on me. And then they just turn around and deal with him. Right. He's extending really far to get that kill. Always trading his life, but they're reacting so late. The rest of Flashpoint can always pounce in the front.
They can, and Zarini's going to take his time once again, probably put up this wall, but Prosper looking extremely low. They're able to push this in with no problem, or seem to be the case. They put out the shield right there, Legacy trying to keep himself alive, but we already hear the inflame that actually goes wide. The wall goes up, the Whirlwind comes out as well, just to keep themselves alive, but there's not really a lot of pressure going on. Skebby already on the side, but that's a beautiful seismic crash to set things up. The wall goes out, the flashbang as well, the dome shield, so many ultimates flying left and right. Ricotta on point, but he's going to go down still, and Simsaloo is just free-firing. G-Bunny jumps down from the top rope and makes sure that he actually can body slam Prosper Logic. Cuss Cutie as well takes care of Goodlad, but Storm Avatar is not one to be taken lightly. He's going to take care of him. He's going to land a beautiful axe on the Simsaloo.
They only have Fey Flight. If they want to use to convert, I don't think they will. Overpower is still up on the other side, so that's a good ultimate that they're going to want an answer of some kind for. The last one in the last mid-fight was missed. Can't always rely on that. Everybody's very grouped up here. Ricotta has to play so careful. Ricotta keeps getting walked at, I feel. I think he's just overextending a little bit. But he's aggressive, but not finding anything quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's once again playing around on these sides right here. He's going to be able to keep healing back up just a little bit. But Simsaloo is actually being dealt with by Skep. He has to use the Fey Flight, but it's a little bit too late. It's not good at all. He's going to be able to be taken down by that. Ricotta and G-Bunny are also being dealt with. The overtime timer is there. Contesting is available. And right now, Cuss all the way in the back. He gets dealt with as well. Zarini still contesting, but it's not going to be enough. Coming into this fight, this is it. This is a 3-3 against Flashpoint.
And they're missing their difference maker.
They are. They're missing the Fey Flight.
That's what they needed.
Exactly.
More than anything, and they don't have it here. Simsaloo maybe thought he could get a heal, but it's so hard for Cuss to cross that angle. And again, they're not thinking of the right answer to Skeppy. The answer to Skeppy isn't stop him from coming in. He's a tank. You don't really have the resources to put someone in the way, right? You need both your tanks locking out everybody else. The answer is to let him come in and then immediately burn him before he can get something done. Damage charts, very stacked, I think, in favor of the Simsaloo currently. Ricotta right below him, and Prosper's catching up, but it's tough for him to stay able to just keep free firing. It's so tough for him to pull that off.
Yeah, 4 seconds until the match is beginning, and now the gates are wide open. This is it. This is going to be the fight that's either going to match things or break things, honestly. It's going to end up with Flashpoint tying up with a 2-2 or making all the more difference. They have 4 ultimates. They're going all the way around to the back. They aren't aware. Cuss already knows, but it's a little bit too late. They're going to be able to swap down onto Ricotta and try to put as much pressure as possible with that Tempest at their back. They're going to be able to deal with it with 15%, and Simsaloo is already there. Drops the dead zone. They have to peel back for Cuss, and they already have the Whirlwind all the way in the back. They use the Inflame as well. They take care of him. They may have gotten a little bit too greedy, or have they? They take care of Cuss, but Prosper goes down. They went all the way into the back to set that up as solo Whirlwind to keep their teammates alive, and they are losing this fight. The Dome Shield goes down, but Legacy is still alive. Simsaloo's going to walk into the Dome Shield and make sure he drops those Drop that damage, 24% to 30, and PK are looking good right now.
Huge stagger by Good Lad. Seismic Crash still available for the Knights, including Faith Flight and Flashbang very soon. Hexafire used during that fight, but so much damage dealt. Overpower does not connect.
No.
That's so crucial for Flashpoint. They needed that, and they didn't get it.
And they dropped the dead zone as well. This might be it. That is so unfortunate that you missed that. The body block for Good Lad as well. They cannot make it back. The flashbang goes out. 87% for Pittsburgh Knights to 96 to 99 to a point conversion and a set win for the Pittsburgh Knights. But my goodness, did Flashpoint make that an absolutely amazing set. Congratulations to their run in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Flashpoint putting up a great fight, but it was not enough in the end. The Knights had, I gotta say, I can't believe that game was as close as it was.
I felt like the Knights, can I.
Not because console, PC, whatever. Ignore that. Just look at the drafts on paper. PC team versus PC team. Knights win that.
Right.
Straight up. And I can't believe that game went to a 3-3.
I cannot believe that either, and I'm glad that you put that out there. PC versus console, whatever. That doesn't matter. You look at the drafts on paper, it does not line up. That is surprising that they actually were able to sort of be that close, to sort of be that behind.
But you look at console versus PC, and again, Flashpoint, amazing run in this tournament, really showing that these players can fight. They can compete. But in the end, the Knights were the ones who clutched it out, booked their ticket to the quarterfinals. They're going to be, we don't know who they're playing quite yet. That's for the next couple days, well, tomorrow specifically, to decide the seeding. But again, our PPL teams, they all made it.
Yeah.
That was it.
They all
Top 8.
did it. Yeah. I mean, this very, very last set of the day. I mean, Pittsburgh Knights are the one that take it. And once again, as Kresnik pointed out, those are all of the PPL teams. The top 8 are already here, and we're going to be seeing some interesting matches. I am 100% for sure decide who they're going to be playing tomorrow. But once again, that's all that we have for the set. We're going to throw it right back to the desk to get their thoughts.
Thank you very much, Fawn and Krez. 4 PPL teams enter. 4 PPL teams go on to the quarterfinals. Hats off to everyone who has played here this week. We still got a full day tomorrow. That's going to determine quarterfinal seeding. But as far as the teams contending for the quarterfinals, Flashpoint is the last to fall. I can't understate. I think they surprised everyone this week. They went to 7 points against the Knights twice in this set.
They played better than the PML teams.
I don't think you're wrong in saying that. I think Flashpoint, if you look at this set specifically, and I don't want to speak for the Knights, but I'm sure with it being as close as it was, they've got a lot to tweak up and get ready for tomorrow and for sure for Saturday. But Flashpoint, I think, played so well. The expectations were set where they were coming into this week, and I think Flashpoint blew them out of the water. If you look at this 4-game set, 2 of the wins of the 3 that the Knights had were in 7 points. You flip-flop a little bit in some of those last 0.7 team fights, and suddenly you have Flashpoint on top with a 3-1 win here in this set. So I don't think it can be understated how surprising and how awesome it was to see Flashpoint do the way they did this week. I think Simsalou, though, 27-15. He had a slow start to this week. Still has some stuff to work on into tomorrow, but they call his name, they give him the Willow, and that's who they needed. Simsalou made it work.
Yeah, Simsalou on the Willow against a triple tank and double support. That's huge for PK. And at first he wasn't doing as good, and then he started to, step it up. He did have a Faith Flight that got immediately shut down, and that was scary going into the 3-3. But he was able to still pull it out. And also Flashpoint missing the overpower.
Yeah, it's big.
Dome shield when your team goes down. Couple key mistakes there for Flashpoint cost them that last round and ultimately the game. But Simsalou, he played amazing that game.
And I think
that felt like a game 5.
It did, didn't it? Yeah, it was a game 4. There was still one more to play potentially after that. The Knights do end up getting the win. And now you look at them. So we have Space Station Kanga remaining in our top bracket. We'll look at the bracket later on. But then the Knights now will move on to play Renegades tomorrow for some seeding. But I think the story here is Flashpoint.
If Flashpoint won, are they beating Renegades?
Maybe.
Man.
Maybe. I don't know. I truly don't know. I think the Renegades had a good set here today. So, that's all by the wayside. I think Flashpoint had a phenomenal week. But it's the Pittsburgh Knights in 4 games that book their ticket to the quarterfinals. See how Cuskitty's feeling.
Thanks.
Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome down. Of course, congratulations to you guys. Now, once again, Flashpoint, you guys did win 3-1, but the sets were close. Were you expecting the drafts? I mean, what was it like being able to play against them? I mean, it was really, really close.
Today just felt sort of like a fringe case where actually last time we played against Kanga, we had a similar scenario happen where we just were out of our zone. People were a bit on the back foot thinking about what they're going to do first. And I know like in one interview I mentioned when we fixed things, it was the moment that we started thinking about ourselves. It was the moment that we were the proactive ones making the first move. Today it felt like we kind of reverse back just a little bit, and we identified this, but again, making it happen easier than just identifying it. So just had to put it into action next up.
Do you think it had to do maybe with the loss you guys took earlier today?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you recover
I don't
from
think it did
a
at all.
loss, and you have to play a game that important immediately after?
I think maybe just adjusting to the fact that I think maybe we had the excuse of, hey man, it's just seeding. I think that was always a valid case that made people play more freely. Now that there's money on the line, I think people are just sort of adjusting to that gravitas behind it.
Where are you guys' sights kind of set for quarters? Like, how important is the seeding moving into the top 8 for you?
Honestly, there's not really too much in my mind about the seeding. It's more about just making sure we're on the upward trend as a team more so than our placement.
Yeah, I don't think we could play any worse than we did today. So I think blue skies ahead.
I have a question about Shattered Desert in general. It was kind of a rough start on that map, I feel. Do you guys think you just weren't ready for the style, like that double backline death ball weirdness that they were doing, or was it something else?
Today, I guess the grand summary of why today was so rough for us was because we lost our ability to play at medium tempo today. We were always absolutely slow or absolutely fast, and we couldn't find that middle ground.
Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. Congratulations on qualifying to the quarterfinals
Very much.
over Flashpoint. That's going to be it for the day, so we're going to send it back to the desk to wrap it up.
Thank you very much to them for sitting down with us and wrapping up our day. I agree with that sentiment. I mean, you get through I think they realize as much as maybe we do. Off day for them. Obviously, some things that normally are clicking weren't quite as much. And you can't hang too much, I don't think, on one player, but you look at kind of what Ricotta specifically on that Strix brought to the Hype console matchup, and it was much quieter today against Flashpoint. And whether that's maybe an off day for him or a great performance out of Flashpoint, I think that's a big difference maker here as well. When it's all said and done, though, the Pittsburgh Knights, our PPL team, they move on. They grab themselves the win in a spot in the quarterfinals. Here's your updated bracket. Space Station and Kanga, the last two teams alive from that winner's bracket, so they'll face off tomorrow for a shot at the winner's finals. And then down in the lower bracket, you can see all of the fun that we've had this week. And down to the other two PPL teams, and the Renegades and the Knights, who will also be going up against one another. So the loser of that matchup, they'll lock up 4th seed. The Knights will compete with the loser of the top matchup for the next seed, so on, so forth. So tomorrow, that's what we've got in play. All of that seeding to be decided. And Blue, I kind of like what the answers have been from the PPL guys, where obviously seeding, I think, is important. But anyone can sort of beat anyone on any given day. So I think tomorrow for a lot of these guys is just making sure that things are fixed, things are all nice and buttoned up, because Saturday, that's the important day. You got to show up then. Tomorrow you can lose, you're still in, but Saturday is where it's important. So I think that everyone's just trying to trend upward going into then.
It's pick your poison. I mean, if you're the what if you're the top seed here, you face
Envy.
That's the defending world champion.
Yeah.
If you're the second seed here, you face
Virtus Pro,
the hottest team right now. If you're the third seed, you face
NIP,
which is the most dominant team all year if you include everything. And then if you're the 4th seed, you face
Na'Vi,
which is the defending champion before that one.
Yeah, I don't think there's, winners or losers, but I think in reality anyone can truly beat anyone. After today, we've got all 4 of our quarterfinal teams locked in. We're going to have seeding all figured out tomorrow, so you want to make sure to keep an eye on that, because those Saturday matchups are going to be a lot of fun to watch. As always, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We're here live from Atlanta. The players are here. The stage is set. Let's get down for esports!
This is where we also talk about the new stuff that we've got coming out for you all.
Look, HRX is literally my favorite time of year. It truly isn't close. This is what I live for.
If that's second place, I can't wait to see what first place is.
It is HRX.
Why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. used to do. No, you couldn't stand tall.